why do you always have to be a knob end? Like, why do you strive? Like, okay, my asshole level is down. I need to boost it up somehow. So I'll just be an asshole just to be an asshole.
I don't think I'm an asshole.
Oh, okay. That's what the mirror tells you?
I'm just I'm an average nice guy.
Right.
From a small town in Finland, village in Finland.
Nitro is the glory. Welcome to the No Name RC podcast with your host tonight, Keenan White, aka Lefty the Great, and if you are unlucky, the Finnish village idiot, JQ. This is the RC podcast with no name, but plenty of content. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some serious bench racing.
Yes, indeed, Nitro's the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 80 of the No Name RC podcast. That's right, 80. We are 80, 20 away from 100. Will we make 100 this year? I'm pretty sure we will. Thank you to everybody that tuned in and shared last week's podcast with Madman Marco Barufalo. It was a great chat with him. A better inside look into the man behind the radio that everybody is, the misunderstood man behind the radio that is Marco Barufalo. Great young man, lots of talent, and he is going to be a force to reckon with in the coming years. And thank you to everybody that shouted out to us for our new sponsorships. I greatly appreciate that. And hey, I just want to say what's up to and shout out to all of the NNRC crew around the world, NNRC squad. What's up? Thank you guys for your support. None of this is possible without you guys. Big shout out to our patrons on Patreon who go the extra mile. That Patreon money helps pay bills here. And now we have this new office. We're actually coming to you live. Not live, but you know, it's Friday morning we're recording this. But from the new studio, like it's halfway done. So I'll talk more about that in a minute. And I want to shout out to our awesome sponsors, man, that support this podcast, which are RCMX Online, Tekno RC, which brings you the main interview this week. Again, we will be getting back to the call-ins next week, hopefully with Wally. I've got some cool stuff now that I have good internet to do things differently. JQ Racing, Beach RC, BK Servos, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, Manscaped, and of course, Rob's Oil, your supplier for all your AMS oil needs. Thank you to all of our awesome sponsors, our supporters, and of course, our Patreons on Patreon. So anyway, I got Joseph on the line. Let's see what he's up to. Well, he's probably sorting something out. Joseph, are you there?
Yeah.
Is that your Hitachi? Yeah, I mean your electric drill.
Yep.
We got to do smoker's noise. When Mike Hill first came to his house and was wrenching on his car, like at 6 a.m, and woke Smoker up.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. He was pretty mad.
Yeah, he was mad. One thing I've learned about Smoker is, like, you do not wake him up. Like, he has such a weird sleep schedule, and he sleeps down on the couch all the time. It's weird. Like,
yeah.
Like, we're literally like to get up early and get a shower. We're sneaking around like SAS or Navy SEAL operatives, trying to get a shower and not make any noise. And at that house, everything, like there's no insulation in houses in that house. So everything's heard all over the place. And of course, my snoring was heard throughout the whole house. So,
of course.
Oh man, it's getting bad. What's going on, man? How are you? What you been up to?
Busy.
Yeah? Busy
Working.
Doing what?
Yeah. You know, I was listening to your opening there.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, Patreon is actually a game changer. Patreon is like crowdfunding in a sense. Everyone pays a bit and amazing shit can get done.
Yeah, and you withdrew your $10 from there.
I was just thinking about it because I've been doing this guide book. It's actually going to be a real book for a while now. And in the recent week or so, I've like tried to do really finish a chapter a day. I left the hardest ones till last because when I write it down, I need to know that it's right, because otherwise it's sort of my reputation or it's on me if I get it wrong. So I need to be sure about all the stuff I write. And it's not easy to it's first of all, some things are hard to understand completely, and then also to explain it so it's simple to someone else. Oh fuck. So yeah, it's been quite challenging, but I'm pretty happy with how it's coming together. And
can we stop sorting screws
thinking,
up?
like, without Patreon, there's no way I would do this, because the support from the people on Patreon means that I can pay someone to do the illustrations for it, and I can make it into an actual book and then sell it. And hopefully enough people buy it to where it was sort of worth it. You know, I don't know. I don't know how to gauge that. Okay, so you write this book, does it affect car sales? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's impossible really to measure that. But at least if there's a physical book and you can sell some and you can sort of,
well, first off, speaking of
make something happen.
Speaking of Patreon, I noticed that you withdrew your $10 a month the donation to my Patreon. So now I'm going to take my.
You're doing good enough now, so I don't need to.
I just
pay you double.
I just think you're being cheap, like. So I'm going to withdraw my $2 from your Patreon now.
Oh, really? You had $2 there?
Yeah, I've been paying for over a year. I've been paying you to pay myself. Isn't that awesome?
That's awesome.
I know. Only you would think of something.
But anyway,
like
I had $10 on you, so
yeah,
you were still getting 8.
I paid for 2 years.
Okay.
Speaking of crowdfunding and Patreon, I really appreciate our patrons. I was up last night recording our podcast. Our podcast this week is like a youth conference. Actually, I got the idea from Joey Bourdon. He's like, I think we should get a group of young racers together and we just talk about RC. So it was Joey Bourdon, David Olsen, Brennan Schimmel, Camden Lime, Kody, Hot Sauce Watson, Ashton, and oh man, I'm probably forgetting somebody. It was 6 of them. So let me just go back here. So we had Brennan, Kody, Joey, Ashton, Camden, David. It was supposed to be CJ was supposed to be involved, and we were trying to get one of Mason, the Fuller kids to get involved. But it's pretty cool because all of these young racers, young men, the youngest was 14, the oldest was 18. They're all really decent racers, up-and-coming racers. Obviously, I think Camden's the more experienced of them all. And it was just, just an hour-long chat with them to see what they thought about RC. And, then it was like they're all going to PNB. So it was like a just whole smack talk. It reminds like when Greg and Richard Saxton and all those guys get together at a race and they all start smack talking to each other. And I told them, I said, if you guys are still racing RC cars 15 years from now, you're going to be just like Degani and these guys talking smack it's just fun to see. So they got a little bet going on and they're all going PNB, and it's going to be cool to see how that goes for them. So I want to thank those guys for coming on. As you know, here at the NNRC and myself, I believe that the youth are the future. So we keep pushing the demographic that we have is the 40+ class. Of course, the older guys are where the money is, but we need to also push these young kids to race, because without them coming up behind, we're going to lose. Like, we're not going to, we have these old guys racing, but we're going to die or, just get out of it. But these young racers are important. So thanks for those guys for coming on. And just something different. So it was really difficult, not difficult, but it was difficult to coordinate with 6 different guys. And then we didn't have that many questions, but it was a good chat with them, man. I think these are the guys that's going to take our sport/hobby into that next level one day. Hopefully. That's the goal.
Maybe they can do it with the guidebook.
Yes, maybe
they can buy the guidebook and read it, and then
you're always trying to sell stuff, man. Always trying to sell stuff. By the way,
trying to finish it now by the end of this month, so it's finally done. Then the illustrations, like first couple of weeks of August, and then get it printed. So hopefully it would be done by the end of September. That'd be really good.
By the way,
and then if people actually buy it, we can put some money towards making an app. And
you sound really excited about this. So, how far away? How far out is it from being finished?
I just told you. I said hopefully by the end of September.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that. Sorry.
End of this month, the text, and then mid-August, illustrations, and then print it.
Books are always good. They're handy to carry and read. An app to go with it will be great as well. So,
yeah, but that requires a developer and some money.
Yeah, it always.
But an app would definitely be good. Imagine you can be at. There's so much you can do with a good setup app. You can be at the track, and you need some ideas for certain situations, and you can just type it in the app. And also, you can have track data there, store information. It would be a really helpful tool. And then also, it would have the theory in there, so not just ideas. Then you can go back and read about whatever thing you are thinking about. Read the chapter on that, or the most important things about it. Yeah, it would be really good.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I finally ordered up me some kits from you. People may think I just get kits whenever I want or stuff here, but I haven't. I still actually have my first original car that I bought from you. I have had kits, but I ended up like giving them like to like I had my last Nitro kit. I ended up giving it to Mike because of all of what he helps out and you know, and then my e-buggy that I got from you, conversion a while ago, many years ago, I ended up letting another guy race it at P&B, and I don't even know who has it now. But I did order up 2 kits, an all-white car that I want to put up on the wall. Did you like that wall of cars that I have here in the studio? It looks pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, so that's going to be like the backdrop for the videos there. So an all-white car. I've always liked that white look like that you always had. And that's just going to get built and put on the shelf. And then an e-buggy. So I can, we're kind of getting back to racing here. Well, guys are going to the track. So maybe I'll get down and run some laps with them. And I'll eventually get another Nitro buggy. But as usual, you like to make things hard for me. And that's why I don't order things from you that much. So just hurry up and get my stuff sent. And send it proper invoice, please. All right? No? All right. Good stuff. 2 cool stories before we go on and do a little bit of news. There isn't much news out, but we had an election here this past weekend in the DR. Oh, Monday, it was nuts here. Oh, my gosh. The party was on. It's crazy. We're going to have a change of government here. This government got into power like in 2000, did 4 years, and then it's been out. I've only known this current government that's in. But August 16th, they change over. New president, new government. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens. So anyway, the current government lifted the whole quarantine a week before the election. I'm just sorry. Like, I was behind some, like, they have these big caravans of, like, all week before the election. Like, just thousands of people just running around, like, sitting on top of, I sent a picture, like 3 girls sitting on top of a Jeep, waving flags, no mask, people sharing, oh wow, that was a loud bike that went across, sharing drinks and all this type of stuff. And all I'm thinking is, oh man, the cases of COVID are going to be so high in 2 weeks' time. Anyway, so that's going on. But previously, so they lifted the quarantine a week before that. And so as much as I praise like living here, I love it. Some things do get on my nerves, and I always talk about the open air corruption that this country has. So I was going back and forth. I think it was about 2 weeks, not this Saturday, but the Saturday before that. I was doing something. I was going to the bank, and I came back home, and I went back, and the police were doing checks, and they were doing extra hard checks, like stopping everybody. And I was like, what the heck's going on? So I got stopped. And I'm in my private car, no mask on, and the guy's like, oh, where's your mask? I said, it's right here. Oh, you need to put your mask on. I said, but I'm driving my car by myself. Like, oh, no, well, I'm just going to take you to the police station. I'm like, what? And then they just started going on and all this type of stuff. And then I'm like, what the like, and then I couldn't think, like, why was this all about? And then he called over his sergeant and he's like, oh, you like to fight? You want to fight? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, And it's been so long since I've been like just shook down by the police, right? So I'm looking at the guy and I'm saying, I know you. And he goes, yeah, you know me? I said, yeah, I used to work here in Cabarete, like when he was just starting out. And then we got talking. I said, yeah, I used to come up to my uncle's house all the time and ask for money. Who's your uncle? I said, Kim. He used to live up by there. And he goes, oh, yeah, that's my friend. Blah, blah, blah. I actually think this cop actually shot my uncle by mistake back in the day. I know that's a crazy story, but there were...
It's a story for another day.
Yeah, but it's pretty simple. It was an accidental shooting. Like, he shot at them because there was, like, people breaking into the houses up there, and they were chasing the people breaking into the houses. My uncle thought they were thieves. They shot back. The bullets ricocheted and hit him in his feet. It was crazy times back then, man. I got pure stories about that. So he ended up knowing. I was like, oh, yeah, don't worry about it. You know, I gave him 100 pesos and all this stuff, and we went off. And I was like, man, they were really aggressive. Really aggressive, unusually aggressive. And then my wife's like, yeah, because tomorrow is like, they can't really bother you. Like, you know what I mean? So they're looking for, like, after the quarantine is up, they can't bother you for not having a mask and all this type of stuff. So they're trying to make all the money that they can today. I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's like when I was living in the Philippines, the cops kept stopping me because I was driving, obviously. They look, oh, there's a foreigner driving, so they stopped me always for some like ridiculous reason. Mm-hmm. And then just basically asking for my license, and I don't have a local license, then that's the excuse. That's how they can get me, okay? And then they basically just want to get bribed.
Yeah, that's how it is here too.
Oh yeah, and you just pay them some money. Once I got the like running rates, what am I supposed to pay? And that's it. Like every time you just get away like that.
But I can, you know what? I can deal with that open air corruption. Like I know this is what they're stopping me for. This is what they want, and I'm good with that. Like I really am good with that. And I just know, but they were just super aggressive, and I was like, well, why? And then my wife told me, so there we go. And another little story, non-RC related, but it is RC related. So, you know, I'm into this G.I. Joe thing now, collecting G.I. Joes and stuff like that. And I've met a few RC guys that are into it as well. We've become friends. So they have these different groups, and they have these auctions, like they put figures up for sale, and you can claim or you can bid on them. So I participated in a few, get me like 1 or 2 figures. You get them cheap. They're in good shape. So I bought like 2 figures from this dude. $20, I think it was, for both of them. $25 of shipping. So it's amazing because these things were $3 back in the day. But, you know, that's just back in the day. So I'm talking to the guy on Messenger, and we have one friend in common. And remember Brian Stone Cold from Myrtle Beach? Yeah, we met him at Fall Brawl that we went to, and then we ended up going out to dinner and drinks that night. And that night you got chased in the bathroom by those crazy, overweight, drunk women.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that was so funny.
I do remember that because he still owes me for a Reds engine.
Oh, gosh. I knew you was going to say that. Anyway.
Well, it's true, isn't it?
Come on, man. Sometimes you got to let it go.
No, you don't.
See? I can't even tell
what?
a proper...
It's not my fault. You owed me since 2 years for an engine. What's wrong with that? If he doesn't want to owe me for an engine, he can pay.
Okay.
It's simple.
Okay. This is not to begrudge your this is not a debt collection podcast, okay? But can I finish my story? Can I finish my story? So I met him. I'm looking at him and I'm like, hey, do you know this dude? And he's like, yeah, I do. Yeah, I work with him. Like we drive cranes together. And I'm like, dude, I know him. Like, and then I start talking to him. I was like, yeah, I met him at there, blah, blah, blah. Then I messaged Brian, and then he ended up messaging his buddy. He was like, yeah, you're selling some G.I. Joes to Keenan. I know him, blah, blah, blah. And the guy actually gave me an extra figure for free. So just, my point would be a very small world. Life is about who you know. I always say this. It's who you know in life. And I just happened to see this guy, and he was friends with a guy that we know. And like, it's just amazing. Just a small world, really small. So
money helps, but definitely who you know is a bigger help in many things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we did 18 minutes of rambling on. Maybe we should talk. There isn't much RC news, but it's going to be brought to you by Manscaped, because now Manscaped is a partner of the No Name RC podcast. I recently purchased my.
Have people actually bought it with your code or something?
Yes, we have.
You managed to sell any?
I need to sell a few more, but we have sold quite a few, and you can get yourself a lawnmower 3.0 or a whole ball kit that they sell. It comes with a pair of boxers, a shirt, some deodorant for your nuts, some moisturizer,
some deodorant for your nuts.
Yeah, after you shave it, it's like an aftershave for your nuts.
Oh my!
It's good stuff, man. Nice little box. It came with a little travel carry bag that you can carry all over the place. In fact, I used my lawnmower 3.0 yesterday to trim up my beard, make it look nice. I haven't been to I have washed it. It's waterproof. It is waterproof. But basically, like, manscaping is the new thing. Joseph, I don't know if you do it, but you need more than manscaping, actually. But basically, this lawnmower 3.0, my wife shorn me the other day. Well, I talked about it in the last podcast. And, you know, I'm used to getting shorn, but I always kind of get nervous when we get down to my ball area, because, you know, I really like nicking my nuts or cutting your nuts. It's not really a fun thing. Or the shaft. If you do it on the shaft, it's even worse, you know. But hey, it puts you out of commission for a while, because everything just hurts. It's sweaty, you know, it's uncomfortable. So she has successfully shorn my nutsack and my private areas without cutting it, without nicking my nuts. She cut through the jungle and found my manhood. So I'm happy about that. But check out Manscaped. You can go to www.manscaped.com. Check out the new Lawnmower 3.0. It's a third generation trimmer, which features cutting-edge ceramic blades. You can also, the good thing about this is you can buy replacement blades when your blades get dull. It's water resistant, so I've washed it literally. It's got a little LED light, which really helped me when I was shaving my beard the other day, and I'm sure it helped my wife when she was shaving and getting into those deep crevices that she had to get into.
You know, that reminds me. You know what we need to do now? We need to get you on a mountain bike so that you can actually see what your manhood looks like now that it's so nice and shaved.
Very funny.
I'm being serious.
Yeah, I know you are. It also has a upgraded 7,000 RPM quiet stroke technology motor, and it has a really cool docking stand that you just plug in, put it in there, and let it charge. And I'll tell you what, man, it's worth it. So if you want to get all groomed up and do something special for your special person in your life, go to www.manscaped.com. Use promo code in all caps, no name in all caps, and you will save 20% off your order, and you get free shipping. So don't hesitate. Cut through the jungle and find your manhood and get yourself a lawnmower 3.0. Joseph, you should get yourself one too. So
send me one.
Send me one. You sound like my buddy the other day. Just send me one. So RC news. Nothing really. I mean, the biggest news for me was, I know you don't care about this type of stuff, but Proline is releasing a Barracuda body for the no prep drag scene.
You're right. I don't care.
But I tell you what, Joseph, this genre of RC is growing extremely, and it's a great crossover genre. Lots of off-road guys are doing it, and I hope
drag racing is the dumbest thing ever. And I don't even mean just RC drag racing.
No, I absolutely disagree with you on that. Drag racing is awesome. It's awesome. And RC drag racing is even awesome. Whatever. I mean, you're entitled to your opinions, even though they suck and they stink, like your manhood. But the new Barracuda Proline Barracuda body looks good. Tom Renderconnect has sneaked a pic of the new.
What was that? What was that surname?
Renderconnect.
Is that his name?
Renderconnect. Renderneck. Tom Renderneck.
He needs to call in and solve this.
Yeah, we do. Leaked a picture of the new released a picture of the new Losi TLR 8XT Truggy. He's doing some sneak pictures. And the most important news of all, Joseph, Kody has released another hard case stopwatch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Big news there, buddy. Big news.
That's amazing.
Big news. All about that stopwatch.
You know what? I actually watched Come Drive With Us. That's series.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Douchebag from Canada makes
God.
it.
Here we go.
The Perth Worlds I watched. I completely forgot how close that 1/8 final I was in was. It actually came down to the last lap. You know what's funny? Like, I was watching it. I know what happened, but I got all nervous, excited towards the end. Fuck, I must be insane.
Well, what happened? Why did you get nervous?
I mean, I was in a bump, then I was out of a bump. I crashed some stupid place. I lost a lot of time. Then I was catching up, and then right towards the end, Tanner Denny flamed out, and then I was in fourth. And I don't even know if I realized that the guys in fifth, probably 6-2, were right behind me. And then, like, last lap, it came down to the last lap. I was in fourth, and then Skidmore was behind me. And, yeah, last lap, he crashes on the triple, right behind, like cartwheels over my car, basically. Mm-hmm. I finished fourth, and he was fifth. So I got the last bump. I forgot that it was that close.
I'm going to have to go rewatch it, to be honest.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
So a couple of other things. I saw in, this happened a couple of weeks ago, but in Norway, they had a TV crew come in and do a production of their nitro touring car racing that they do up there. And I actually talked to Anders Mikkelsen, so he was telling me all about it. I'll probably get him here on the podcast to talk about it. But basically, I think this is in Finland, it's the same. They treat RC car racing as part of the sports federation or motorsports federation. I know in Norway they do, because remember, Daniel Kobovic was stopped from racing, and then we had that big thing with Mylin and the sports federation or motorsports federation. But basically, they kind of found RC racing, and they sent 23 crew members and 7 cameras to video this stuff. It was a lot more involved than that, and Anders was telling me about it, and it's pretty good stuff. It was aired on a Norwegian TV channel. It's being streamed. I'm gonna get him on here to talk more about it, but that's a lot of crew and a lot of cameras, and that's pretty cool. That's exposure that we need.
What were they filming?
Nitro 10 scale touring car in Norway.
Oh, okay.
So, but imagine all that crew and 7 cameras, and for RCGP we had like 3 people and 2 cameras. No, more than 2 cameras. Pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, man.
And I was talking to Rob Isaac. He's a famed wolf, and he's also got the US RC, like it's like a racing series on the East Coast as well. He's got another race series, which is FX. I want to say FX. I'll have him on the podcast next week. But they're having a race this week of the USRC run. Actually, Ryan Lutz is getting back, and he's going out to race it. And they're going to have a film crew from Motor Trend, which is a big production, like, series. It's like a weekly series thing in America.
Is this going to be a problem?
Yes, it most definitely is a problem. If I hear that one more time, I'm going to take that electric drill and shove it where the sun doesn't shine the next time I see you.
Really?
Yes. Stop it.
Wait, you said if you hear it one more time. There you go. Now you heard it twice, so you don't need to do that anymore. But you know what? There's one more gearbox screw here.
Okay.
There we go.
Thank you.
So I'm all good now.
Okay. All right. So we finished with your electric drill?
Yep.
Okay.
I sold a car.
Well, I'm happy for you. Can I finish my story? So anyway, Motor Trend sending a crew to film this. So that's going to be really cool too. And this is going to should get airtime on this Motor Trend series that they do it's like a TV show that they do. So I was talking to Rob. He's all excited about it. Like I said, any exposure that we can get from RC, I'm all about. I'm just so waiting for Driven. I was talking to David about it the other day.
Oh, yeah, I saw another draft. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Yep, Matt has done a great job to tell stories and introduce the drivers. I mean, we had this idea all along, but with how hectic it was, at least my worry was that there wasn't really enough footage to tell stories. But man, they've been able to capture quite a bit. And also, I mean, every race, whenever I saw something happen, I would just film stuff also, just to get footage. So it can be edited in, like some two people have an argument or something happens and you actually have footage of them arguing. Even if they aren't arguing at that moment, you have the footage, so it's crazy how much footage you need to then be able to tell a story well.
Well, I mean,
yeah,
look at
least the first episode. I know that.
Well, let's be realistic.
He has what he needs.
I know you like the 5150 movies, documentaries, right? I will be honest. Like, we've watched that dude. He is busy. He is all over the place. He's filming. He's nonstop, and he does it all on his own. And he gets a shit ton of footage at a race, and it takes him about 8 months to a year to do a production, I think. But I will give him this: his production quality is really great. The footage that he gets is really good, and yeah, it's a lot of work. So now imagine 4 races, 4 different countries, and a whole entire series storyline. So it's so much work and you got to remember that most of these. Oh, that's the other thing I forgot to talk about. Oh, my RC reality show audition. But I'll tell you that in a minute.
What?
Yeah, I'll tell you about that.
I got some email about this.
Yeah,
right?
You're supposed to answer her.
Before.
But
no, you told me about it, but she never emailed me.
Oh, okay. So anyway, it's a lot of work that goes into these documentaries, man. So I'm just so excited for Driven. Honestly, I just can't wait for it to come out. So
okay, anyway, tell me about your
audition. So
what is it? Is this some complete bullshit? Because that's what I think it's gonna be.
Well, she apparently it's from Blast Films. They're based out of the UK. She's named Stephanie. Actually, JB was the one who told me about it. They're just contacting people, like mostly in America. So they contacted somebody that contacted JB. JB did like an audition and talked to her, and then he sent her my way, and we did a phone chat, and then we did a Skype like audition for about 45 minutes for an hour. And basically what they're trying to do, they don't really know anything about RC. They don't know anything about RC. They just have this idea about building cars and following characters and racing in different, like, well, what if we race in a desert or in the Grand Canyon or something like that? And, that's what I'm just like, yeah. Like
sounds pretty shit to me.
Well, they don't know what they're doing, but it's a reality.
Exactly.
It's not. I sent the stuff of RCGP and all that stuff, but basically what they're looking for is characters. They're making a pitch to the main studio and try and get this going. So I haven't heard back from them. JB hasn't heard back from them, but she messaged everybody, man. And some people thought it was a hoax.
Except me.
Yeah, well, I told her about you, but even then she must have figured out that you're an asshole. So, well,
at least a character.
Yeah, I told her, at least you're a character, that's for sure.
I wouldn't do it, though.
Of course you would.
That's their idea.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you do it? Because it isn't your idea? Jesus.
No, because it sounds pretty terrible to me.
Man, you're such a
negative. I haven't, honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a good reality TV thing like that. Those things suck. It's horrible.
Hey, man, can you just let me finish my story, please?
Okay, go ahead.
So we did the whole audition. It was, like I said, they just don't know really much, but they're just trying to get things together to pitch. So we'll see if anything comes out of this. And Yeah, who knows? Maybe we'll see a reality TV show. Maybe I'll be on it. Maybe JB will be on it. Who knows? But basically, they want people who are gonna, just make more exciting TV, I guess. So it doesn't really matter if you're a pro or whatnot. They just want people who's gonna be like smack talking and go racing and you would actually.
Yeah, they should get like Testman on there and who else? Exciting characters,
Yeah. Anyway, that was going around for a little while. So, yeah. I don't know if anything's going to come out of it. I haven't heard anything since then, so we shall see.
No, nothing's coming out of it.
Oh man,
Tell you right
you're
now.
always so negative, man. Honestly, I
I'm
really
not negative. I'm being realistic.
It's just lack of love in your life, man. Lack of love. Lack of love, and you must have been strangled by the umbilical cord. Seriously. Anyway, you know what time it is, Joseph? It is. Do we have anything else to talk about?
It's time to end the podcast. We're done.
No. It's time for the Beach RC Bench Racing Q&A segment. So,
BeachRC.com, the racers' one-stop online hobby shop. Choose from all the popular brands and variety in stock with super fast shipping and great customer service. BeachRC.com still has the local hobby shop feel with all the benefits of the internet. BeachRC.com is the exclusive distributor for Ultimate Racing, JQ Racing, Pro Circuit Racing Tires, Nitro Lux Fuels, and Assault RC Performance products. So fill up your cart and check out at BeachRC.com today.
and thank you to Beach RC for sponsoring the Bench Racing Q&A segment of the podcast. Beach RC is a brick and mortar hobby shop. It has a track. They have the Masters of Dirt coming up here in October. Actually, I think Brent a little bit. I think they said that they rescheduled the 10 scale Nats on that same date. I have to check, but if it did, it's.
I have a question.
Can I finish my spiel, please, first?
No. Has this segment been called Bench Racing segment all along?
No, I made this up like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. That I was thinking because I never heard it before, and then I'm like,
do you like it?
Am I saying?
Do you like it? Or because
I mean, it's not bench racing. Well, I guess people could ask questions which would be bench racing. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. If you would have thought of it, you would have been like, "Oh, it's the best idea ever."
Oh, I only really have good ideas, so that's fine.
Jesus, man. Do you look in the mirror? Do you have one of those mirrors that tell you you're the best all the time? Like,
No, I don't need.
You look in the mirror and say, "Who's the best in the world? You are, Beaker. You are, Josie. Who's the best violin player ever? You are.
I was average.
Who's the best goalie ever to be produced in Finland? You were.
No, I'm the best Facebook triggerer.
Yeah,
I'm retired now.
yeah, but your triggeries, they miss you. They miss you. But thank you to Beach RC for bringing this part of the podcast. Check out beachrc.com. You can use our affiliate link. Helps us out a bit. Check Lucas and Brent out. They hit RC from all angles. They have a great track, great hobby shop, well stocked, great online presence, and they travel to races. You know, they're getting ready for PNB next week, which is going to be pretty awesome. We should make some. We should probably make some predictions for that race after we do this. So anyway, let's get on to some of these.
Who's going? We don't even know.
I'm got it up on RC sign up right now, actually. So we'll have a look at it.
Okay.
First question is from Mike Woods. What's up, Mike? He wants to know, how do you adjust Ackerman and why? When to change position and whatnot? Why would you adjust and when would you adjust your Ackerman position of your steering rods?
Mike's got wood. Asking about rods. Well, so
And he says JQ doesn't have to
On
be
the
a
accent
dick,
plate.
and you go out and be a dick right away.
What?
He says JQ doesn't have to be a dick, and you be a dick right away.
See, I knew he said that. So Ackerman, on the Ackerman plate, you can move the link forwards and backwards. Now, typically, for example, on the Black Edition, and I think Kyosho's the same, probably most cars with this system is the same. So when you move the link forward, initial steering will be a bit smoother, but the thing that you really notice is you have more steering mid to exit in the corner. So it kind of feels like more overall steering when you move that link forward on that Ackerman plate. Then when you move the link backwards, you have more initial steering, but then less mid to exit. So on a loose track, if you need more steering, you move it forward. On a high grip track, if your car is nervous and aggressive and too much steering, you actually move it back. Yes, I said that you have a bit more initial steering, but the thing is that after that, the car kind of pushes a bit. So on a high grip track, it's actually easier normally if you move the link backwards, because after the initial steering, it will push and it won't sort of hook and feel nervous and edgy. So that's the inner setting. And then for me, at least, I find that I don't really change the link on the inside too much. I tend to keep that in what I think is the best location. But what I do change is the outer Ackerman setting. So on the steering knuckles, we have these usually carbon plates that we can change. And then what the plates do is they either lengthen the steering link or shorten the steering link. Sometimes they move it forwards or backwards too, but the main thing is the length of that link. So a longer plate results in a shorter steering link, and that will make the car the smoothest around neutral. So you have less initial steering, but then you have good steering mid to exit of the corner. So this is typically the easiest setting because the steering is so smooth. But then the problem is on a, let's say, a loose track, you have a tight corner and the car just pushes in that corner. You can't get it to rotate quick. You don't have enough steering. So tight hairpins, these kind of sections you're struggling in. Then if you go to a shorter plate, so longer link, that will give you that steering you need in tight sections. So you have more steering in tight corners with that. The downside is you have more initial steering. So the steering around neutral will be more aggressive. So you have to find a balance where you have the initial steering is still comfortable for you and you have enough steering in those tight corners. So does that answer Mike Scott Wood's question?
That answers Michael Wood's question, you dickhead. Why you always gotta be
I'm not the one that has wood.
Why do you always have to be a knob end? Like, why do you strive? Like, okay, my asshole level is down. I need to boost it up somehow. So I'll just be an asshole just to be an asshole.
I don't think I'm an asshole.
Oh, okay. That's what the mirror tells you?
I'm just I'm an average nice guy.
Right.
From a small town in Finland, village in Finland.
Will Cunningham, he's a JQ driver. And we seem to get a lot of these questions about the e-buggies, but I think I know the reason why. Last weekend, my e-buggy seemed to want to nosedive very easily on some of the bigger jumps. What are some of the things to check? I have HB Yellow Springs, 550 up front, 500 in the rear, ride height 32, 33, 31 in the rear. Everything was kit set up besides that. Can I answer this a little bit too? And you can verify?
Well, actually it's Friday, and on Fridays, I don't answer e-buggy questions.
But you can confirm if I'm right. Well, the e-buggy is heavier, number one, right? And a lot of people get this confused because our cars come with 1.2 pistons in the front and 1.4 in the back. So we actually run reverse oils. Excuse me. So we would run the heavier oil in the rear and the lighter oil up the front. So at first I see that's a mistake. I think he's got too light of oil in his rear shocks. He needs to go heavy. Or he needs to go to like, I don't know, what's your running pistons now? Is it still 1.25, 1.35 in the rear? Or
Yeah, we've been running 7 1.25 front, 7 1.35 rear.
mm-hmm.
And the oil's probably, well, depends on the temperature,
Exactly.
but like 500 front, 450 rear, or if it's hot, then 550, 500.
Right, but I think 500 is too soft, and that's another thing. I don't know where he was, what the temperature was like, but it's hot. So that's where you got to go up in oil. And just like the e-buggies are heavier, like yes, a lot of the setup questions transfer over to the e-buggies from the nitro cars, but the nitro cars are a little bit lighter than the e-buggy. And, with the motor and everything and, where it is and near the back and all that stuff, you guys got to compensate and go a little heavier, and especially when it's hot. And, yeah, I just think that's one of the things people overlook as well. And sometimes you just got to, you never know, the drum might be different from last week, That's another thing people have to realize. There may be a bump in there or something that's causing the car to do it, I don't know if it's the same track that he was at or whatever. So check those things.
And did he say his ride height was like over 30?
31 in the rear, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a bit too high. Like front, like 27, rear, 28. That's fine. You don't need to go higher than that, I think.
Okay. Well, thank you, Will, for the question. I hope that helps you out. And if you have any questions, you can always ask me or ask in the group. Got plenty of people to help you out there. Okay, let's see. We have quite a few questions this week. We have another question. This is all coming from JB's Southeast Facebook page, or everybody can ask a question besides JB. Kyle Neary, if JQ was to hire a high caliber winning level driver, what would a salary be around, and do chassis manufacturers know when other brand drivers' contracts end to possibly scoop them up?
Well, the salary would have to be what they get paid now, I guess, pretty much. I mean, most drivers, they get about between $1,500 and $3,000 a month, I think.
For their
Probably
chassis.
All the drivers fit in there somewhere. Yeah. Like drivers that are capable of winning any big race.
Right. But that's just for their chassis.
Chassis manufacturer, you have to pay them $1,500 to $3,000 a month. It's in there somewhere. Yeah. And then that's not it. Then you also have to pay travel.
Contingency.
The travel builds up pretty quick because you need a mechanic in nitro. So, I mean, the travel budget can easily be $20,000 a year. So,
and don't forget contingency.
Yeah, I mean, contingency, that depends on the deal, the contract, but probably for the bigger races, you need to have some sort of contingency also. So, yeah, it gets, with a guy like that, you can probably figure that it's going to cost you like $50,000, give or take, for a year.
Probably more, I would say.
Yeah, well, 40 to 60, let's put it like that. Yeah.
And then there's some drivers, but see, a lot of people are like, well, that's not a lot of money, but you got to understand that they get a check from every single sticker that's on their car. Every single sponsor, they get a check.
I think this is going to change in the future. It has to, because RC has been really good for the best drivers because they get paid well. I mean, we have to remember that this is RC car racing. They aren't making millions, but they're making good money. But it hasn't been good enough for the companies. So these companies who are paying drivers, there's less and less of them now. So this whole situation needs to change and will change. So if we still want to have professional drivers in the future, then the way these deals are made, the way, you know, the chassis manufacturer pays for like almost all the travel, and the other sponsors just pay the driver direct, like these things are going to have to change. It's if we want professional drivers, paid drivers, then all their sponsors have to kind of pitch in. So the cost of traveling around the world and promoting the products, racing, winning, the cost of that is shared with all these companies. And then we can be in a situation where it still makes sense and drivers are paid. But yeah, I see some changes coming because, like I've said before on here, that only reason it seems like everything's fine, everyone's happy, and there are all these pro drivers is it's because rich people have come in with either just wealth that they have, or they run another company and are doing tax planning or something, just, you know, playing around in RC, something like that. Like the money is coming from somewhere else and they have a passion for RC and they pay these drivers, you know? So it's not real. It's the situation we're in with all these paid drivers is artificial. Mugen is a real RC company selling RC cars, paying drivers. They pay 2 drivers in the world. Drake, I don't count him because he works at Mugen USA. You know, then you have these Maxima paying Tebow, Cavalieri, Rivkin, Mayfield, all these drivers, Neumann, Robert. That's not realistic. The guy's a multimillionaire, billionaire. I don't know what he is. You know, it's just throwing away money, basically. Infinity, all the money in the world, just pay everyone, you know. S-Works, also car dealerships, you know, they have the budget. Just, it doesn't matter really. Can we break even? You know, can we build something out of this? Just invest, pay drivers. You know, it's not real. So there you have it. Now you have some inside info on the situation right now in the market. Actually, one more thing. HB, pay 2 drivers on the Ogden. That's what you can do as an RC company, trying to make a profit, trying to run a real business. Imagine all those brands just stuck to that, 1 or 2 drivers. There'd be a number of drivers without a ride.
He also asks, do other companies know when drivers' contracts up and scoop them up? Of course they do, because usually contracts are 2 years?
It depends.
Yeah.
Like 2 to, I mean, I think Coelho had an 8-year contract.
Okay. So they know, like, and these drivers, they start
Just
fishing.
ask the driver, like, hey, when's your contract?
Yeah, pretty much. And
hey, wait, someone's here to pick up this car, so let me just get it to them. Okay?
okay. Yeah, so you put me on hold for almost an hour just now, man.
Yeah.
No respect for the podcast
Do some
whatsoever.
business.
Selling your old Hongnor Truggy. Man, that's memories right there.
Yeah, that was a bonus. They bought the Black Edition and OS Engine combo, but then ended up buying all kinds of other stuff. Because I was going through, went through the storage here and just dug up all kinds of old stuff and just selling all the extra stuff I don't need. So yeah, it was good. Used car, Hongnor, Truggy, bunch of tires, bunch of used tires, like 1-run tires also, and all kinds of crap.
Good stuff. I want one of those black JQ Flex Fit hats, but large, extra large. Please.
Okay.
Okay, you can send that in my order. Now, back to our questions after you rudely interrupted us and the podcast. So you apologize. Mirror,
I'm sorry.
mirror,
You know
mirror
what?
on the
I'm
wall.
going to have to put you on hold again. I'm going to close the door.
I tell you, I have a new slogan for you. Perfectly new slogan for you. I mean, how long does it take somebody to...
Okay.
I mean, how long does it take you to close the door?
That's how long it took.
So long.
Okay, so what's your question?
My first question is, are you charging your phone on your laptop again?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, stop that. Right now, because it causes static. You know what your new slogan is? Remember how I asked you about that mirror? You remember? It's mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the biggest asshole of them all?
What happened now?
That's your new slogan. Mirror, mirror on the wall. Who's the biggest asshole of them all? You,
Okay,
JQ.
what's the question?
You, JQ. Only you. Okay, so this question's coming out of the Positive RC group that I posted this in, and it comes from my good buddy Adam Ross up there in Canada, there in Ontario. Really badass track they have at Otterville, but he's not there this weekend. He's at the Durham off-road track. I was watching a live he was doing. E-buggy question. I will be trying 2 shorty packs jump together to try and save weight. Is this a good idea, or should I be looking for a 4-cell smaller pack? Or have you tried to do this since it allows you to move the weight around quite a bit more? Don't forget, e-buggy pays the bills. Stop charging your phone.
An e-car question. Really?
Yeah, stop
Wait,
charging your phone.
Just one moment. I need to go get a drink.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
So, e-buggy, yeah, shorties are good. If you can get enough run time with the shorty pack, it's good because you can adjust the weight distribution and they are lighter. So, anything to make an e-buggy lighter. Those things are more overweight than keen.
Okay, so yeah, see, mirror, mirror on the wall told you can be the biggest asshole of them all, and you are definitely trying to accomplish that today. Are you running shorties in your e-buggy? Well, you don't even run e-buggy. Like, have you even?
Back when I went to the European Championships in 8-scale e-buggy in Fairing, Austria, and made the A main, I ran shorties.
First, there you go, cementing the idea that you are a e-buggy and truggy driver first and nitro buggy last. That is where your focus should be because e-buggy pays the bills.
I actually have some bills that need paying.
Okay, so
I'm just going to forward them to you.
Okay, and they won't get paid. Braden Miller, can you explain the difference between a 3-shoe and a 4-shoe clutch and the pros and cons of both?
Well, the good thing with 4-shoe clutches is you can run 2 carbon, 2 aluminium, or 2 softer springs, 2 harder springs. So it stays balanced. With a 3-shoe clutch, when you only run one different, it's not balanced anymore. So, there's that. Typically, I have felt that the 4-shoe clutch is maybe because each shoe's contact area with the clutch bell is smaller, so it's more finicky. The 4-shoe clutches I've had, they've changed. Sometimes they're great, sometimes they're slipping or too aggressive, or depending on how worn out they are or just the conditions even. The 3-shoe clutch, it's more consistent and stable for me at least. And also, I have found the 3-shoe clutch to be smoother yet still have enough grab. It's not slipping, but it's smooth. Do you see what I mean? That you can make it to where it's very smooth and it slips at first, but it does grab. So I don't know. They have a different feel. Try them both. I actually, to be honest, I haven't tried 4-shoe clutches now in a while, but yeah, maybe I should.
Yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Braden, for the question. Next question it's actually a joke by Scotty Brewer. He goes, "Why are tacos depressed? Because they're always falling apart." And Jimmy Padilla says, "You need double tortilla." I miss tacos. I can't wait to get back to California and have some tacos. Ooh, yeah. Jason.
I haven't had tacos in a while.
Yeah, like, you know, there's nice corn tortillas and like all that. The onion mixed with, what's that plant called? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. You know who had great Mexican? That little place up by Thunder Alley. They really had some good burritos there. Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I got one with like hot Cheetos, and I didn't like it too much. There was too much. Jason Choyanard. I know I said your name wrong. Jason, any new option parts in the works for the BE? Good question. Hey, Beaker.
Yep. Springs.
That's it? Springs?
Yeah, that's what we need. We need springs. Normal springs and progressive springs. That's what we have.
So what's the
and
difference?
We have those 2020 KPI steering knuckles and C-hubs, they're back in stock. So
What's the difference between a normal spring and a progressive spring?
normal springs rate is constant. So when you, let's say you compress it 5 millimeters, it has a certain force.
Okay.
You compress it 5 millimeters more, it adds that same amount to it. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
What I mean? Like
Yes.
if you put the spring on a scale and you press down on it, compress it 5 mil, you can read the scale and see, okay, so the spring compresses with this force. Let's say it reads, and these springs that I have this gauge, Zeppin spring gauge, it's called. That's exactly what you do. You put the spring on it, and then you take measurements. So what I do is I do 5 mil increments. Well, with a standard spring, it doesn't matter, because if you know 5 mil, how much it reads when you compress it 5 mil, when you compress it the next 5 mil, you just add that number. So it stays consistent the whole time until some springs, maybe if you compress them too much, it gets all messed up. But let's not worry about that. But with a progressive spring, what you can do is you can make it so initially when you start compressing it, it's soft. So the numbers you read on the scale, they're low. Then it doesn't stay that way for the whole time. So at some point, when you compress it, that same 5 mil distance, for example, you're going to read a larger number on the scale. So the force is now growing. 5 mil again, it's growing again. And then if you have like a 2-stage progressive spring, you can have a soft part of the spring. And then when that soft part is compressed, then it's the force of the spring is according to the hard, stiffer part of the spring. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I kind of just stopped listening to you after a while, like you do to me.
Yeah.
But I get it. I know what you mean.
But the idea is that you can make a progressive spring that's soft in a certain part of the suspension travel, and then harder at another part. So for example, above ride height, it's soft. So when you land from a jump, let's say, when the wheels hit the ground, up until ride height, it's soft. And then after that, it gets hard.
How do you accomplish that?
You see what I mean?
Yeah, but how do you do that with a spring? Like thicker wire, or how does it work?
No, so a normal spring that has a constant rate throughout its compression, the gap between each coil is the same.
Okay, yes, okay.
And on a progressive spring, it's different. So you can make it to where some coils are very close together, and that's going to be softer. And then when coils are further apart, it's stiffer. So you can make it so it keeps on getting a bit bigger and bigger and bigger. The distance between the coil gets bigger and bigger and bigger through the whole spring, or you can make it so one portion is close together and then another portion is further apart, so you can, and you can change how big a section of the spring is soft and how big of a section is hard and all that stuff. So yeah, there's surprisingly much you can do with the springs, but it takes a lot of time and effort to
Sweet.
design, make the samples, test, all that crap.
Yeah, I learned something just now. I never knew that. Pretty cool.
Yeah. You
Mike,
can also do it if you change the size of the spring, like the diameter that the wire is wound around.
Mhm.
So if you change that diameter, that's also changing the spring rate. But it's not really good for us because we don't have space around our springs on the car.
Mhm.
So it's better to just change the distance between the coils.
Interesting. Cool. Mike Walker, he has a big smile sitting on your lap. I posted a picture from Argentina where you was drunk sitting on my lap after you doused everybody in soda when we was at the banquet there. Okay. Axel Owen. He asked, more support setup electronics for the e-buggy Black Edition, please. He's going to pick up a new kit today. He says, thanks for the pre-replacement parts and Hop Ops Beach RC. So Axel's pretty excited about getting his Black Edition e-buggy. I think you need to show some more e-buggy love too.
Really?
Is it on the forums? Do you have e-buggy love on the forums?
What forum? The new forum?
Yeah.
I don't think there's an e-buggy topic.
Maybe you should do YouTube e-buggy love live.
Maybe.
It's about time you did that.
I'll think about it.
No, don't think about it. Just do it.
Okay.
And congratulations, Axel, on your new car. If you have any issues, please just contact me, contact anybody in the JQ Racing Facebook group, and they will get you sorted out, man. Grace Aruda, a.k.a. Salty Joe. I do not know why Salty Joe does not make his own Facebook account and uses his wife's. He was all excited. He done pretty well at a little race they had in Bermuda. Excuse me. How did JQ like the underdrive gears in the rear?
Yeah. Honestly, I can't remember now. I probably wrote down some notes. I honestly can't remember. It changes how the car acts off power when you go in a corner, and then when you get on the power, how it acts. So, yeah, it makes a difference, but standard gearing is just a safer bet, always.
All right, Salty Joe, thank you for your questions. We have 2 Instagram questions that we have to finish before we finish this part of the podcast. KB Wolf, 83, podcast question. Why do races go by time and not laps? And how come electrics don't race longer?
Well, electrics race longer at some smaller races, I think, but typically it's just because of how the lipos don't last, long enough. Now these days they do, but
Yeah.
I guess
Like, why isn't
it's still a question of like everyone's lipos don't last the longest time a lipo can last, So if you were to make the races too long, then it's a question of, okay, well, you need the right lipo and you need good lipos and this and that, and runtime becomes an issue. Now it's no issue for anyone, and I think that's a good thing. So we should keep it that way. And then what was the other question? First one.
time or laps? Why are there is it run
Oh
by
yeah,
time
well,
and not laps?
not like it matters in America because they don't do schedules, but like we learned in RCGP, it's kind of, if it's laps, it's a bit tricky because you don't have a set time to work off when making a schedule. So it kind of gets hard to figure out. It's easier to use laps. I think the best way actually is to have a time. It's easier to use time. I don't know. Did I say that wrong? The best way is to have a time, then plus 2 laps. Because what you do then is, the thing I hate about the way we race now is like, there's this close race. Oh, the World Championship's coming down to the last lap. Ronnie Falk and Mayfield battling. And then one guy crosses the line and the other doesn't. Boop, oh, Mayfield gets caught at the line. And then it's like, well, what the fuck kind of anticlimactic bullshit is that? Like, you just raced for 60 minutes and then some fucking bullshit, like time ran out right between the cars. That's lame. It needs to be like, a battle to the finish line. And we don't always get that with this dumb system. So what it should be is there's a time plus 2 laps. Because then when the leader crosses the line, after time has run out, everyone knows, okay, so it's this lap and one more. So it's that lap. And then everyone, okay, final lap is starting now. Everyone, pay attention. This is the last lap. We're going to finish now. Who's going to cross the line first? And then imagine, oh, fuck, Mayfield, crazy move, and whips it past and crosses the line and wins the race. And the race is over, and everyone finishes behind him. That's how racing should be done. You know? See what I mean?
Yes, I agree. Can we... I think, that makes a lot of sense.
How the fuck does second place finish first? Oh, time is up. Oh, Mayfield caught at the line. Mayfield pulls in the pits. Everyone finishes. Meanwhile, the guy that's actually going to win the race is still racing. It's so stupid. Okay. This is 2020, okay? Figure this shit out.
That's like a mini rant.
If only we had like a federation, like a governing body that made all the rules and improved the sport and were progressive and improved everything about this that we do. If only we had that kind of federation, it would be awesome. They would be pushing the boundaries of technology and just race presentation and events. Oh my God, it would be so cool. Oh, we do. We IFMA, right?
Yes, we do. We do. We most definitely. Can we rewind that back to why we don't race longer? I mean, let's be realistic. Every lipo out there is capable of doing 10 minutes now. Do you think it comes down? Yeah. But listen, let me finish.
Oh, yeah, 10 scale. Yeah, 10 scale.
Yeah.
I don't know. 10 scale, they don't race longer because...
the cars and tires can't make it?
They can. I guess just because that's kind of how it's always been, kind of thing.
But I just think it would be so much better if you had 10-minute race. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Well,
For me, I think 10 scale should be like 5-6 minutes. Like, just keep it short.
Oh, that's why they have three mains to make it exciting. But yeah. But even, I mean, I can see we're going to get to lipo technology. Like it's just improving. They're getting lighter, and you be able to pack more runtime and power into a smaller package. I can see e-buggy races being 20 minutes. That would be a long e-buggy race. It seems like 10 minutes is long for e-buggy. Like no noise, just...
e-buggy is just don't even shut up. That's life.
You know? That's the noise of an e-buggy going around a track.
0 laps.
And slap.
E-buggy races should be 0 minutes and 0 laps.
Oh, but why? I don't know why you
just hand out the trophies and go home.
But you're so good at e-buggy, and you're so good at it, and truggy. So much of a better e-buggy and truggy driver than you are a nitro buggy driver. I think that's where your real disdain for e-buggy and truggy comes from, is that you know you're a better e-buggy and truggy driver, and that pisses you off. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the best e-buggy driver of them all? You, Josie, you. All right.
No, not that good, to be honest.
Dread 24,000. I think this is Corey. What's up, Corey? Left tire salute.
Is that Corey douchebag?
No, it's not Corey Drakenberg, Joseph. It's Corey Jordan, a JQ driver. Corey asks, can companies be fanboys and champions? If so, give an example.
Yeah, that's a good question. Can company be... yes. VP Pro is a fanboy company. That's a fanboy. Many of these Asian companies are fanboy companies. They just want to be like some other company. So they make all the same shit. They make it look the same, name it similar, even at times. They're just fanboys. Like, figure out your shit, do your own thing, do it better. No. Instead, they just look at the champions and they do the same. You know, so VP Pro, that's one example of a fanboy company. Some companies have fanboy sections, like they do some things which are very fanboyish. like associated with their 4-wheel 10 scale or 8 scale buggy. Like it's very sort of fanboyish, in my opinion. In 2-wheel drive off-road, they're champions.
Oh, you mean just
Yeah, but in 8 scale, what the hell? Like just buy a Mugen and like measure it all up and make it like that. Like that's a fanboy attitude right there.
But you said it's different.
Yeah, it's different. No, it's different. But originally they literally had a Mugen. And
I know they were literally using Mugen parts.
I guess kind of eyeballed it a bit wrong. That's why it was different. But do you see my point? Like then there are those that I think X-Ray started out a bit as a fanboy, but then they sort of grew up and realized that they should be champions. And I think X-Ray actually have kind of become champions in everything they do now.
Yeah, they do definitely push the limit, and they do whatever they want, and that they're able to because they do everything all in-house, which is which other companies probably don't have that ability to do that.
Yeah, but yeah, I would say companies can be fanboys or champions too, because at the end of the day, companies are just people working together, doing something. So
sweet.
Yep.
Well, I think that's all of our questions for the Beach RC Bench Racing segment, Q&A. Thank you. You actually had some great answers, Joseph. I mean, we had some good questions this week. So,
oops.
Yeah.
Okay, are we done?
No, we're not done. We're not done. We have the youth conference coming up now, brought to you by Tekno RC, and we have Rob's Oil story time. We don't have a rant this week. Do you have a rant? You kind of went on a mini rant about laps and times.
Yeah. I have a rant, but I don't have time to do it. We can do it next week.
You never have time. See, that whole hour you took selling stuff, we could have been recording. But anyway, on to the Tekno RC Youth Conference with the young drivers of RC coming up. And then, Joseph, I will call you back for the Rob's Oil story time.
Okay.
Tekno RC. Tekno RC. Tekno RC is a premium manufacturer specializing in 8th and 10th scale high-performance off-road RC buggies and trucks. Visit www.teknorc.com for a complete catalog of their products. Tekno RC. Excellence in engineering. Hashtag Tekno Takeover.
Joining me this week are some of the up-and-coming, fast, young racers of RC. They all hail from different regions of America. They're all relatively fast in their regions, and they're all gonna meet up at PMB next weekend. So it's a pretty cool thing as well. But they all seem to be friends outside of RC as well. But you know, they're all in that, I would say, 14 to 18-year-old category of RC. And you know, on this podcast, I'm a very big proponent of the youth racing. You know, I want to see more young men, young women racing. And I believe that they are the future. We all know that the primary demographic in RC is the 40-plus class, or old men like myself. While we have these young guys that are out there putting in work, going to races. And I it wasn't my idea. It was actually Joey Bourdon, who's one of the guests on the podcast. He came up with it, and he actually made it happen. He started the group and got these guys together. We were supposed to have a few other young men to join us, but I don't know. Let's introduce them. So first off, I'd like to introduce Joey Bourdon. He's the guy who came up with the idea and approached me. What's up, Joey? How are you?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing great.
Just tell everybody where you're from real quick. You have been on the you've been on the podcast before, but tell them what region you run in and who are your sponsors and who you run for real quick.
I'm from Canton, Ohio. I've been racing for 5 years now. I'm sponsored by Tekno RC, aka Tecan, MKS, and Block. My local tracks, I go to Beans a lot. Just had a race there last weekend with Joe and Jared Wiggins and all them. So,
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. We have another Tekno driver, David Olsen. He was on with us for, he was part of the infamous TikTok video that went viral a few weeks ago. What's up, David? How are you? Tell everybody where you're from.
What's up, Keenan? Doing good. I'm from Southeast region, South Carolina, Georgia mainly. My sponsors are Tekno, Hobbywing, Proline, Beach RC, Fierce RC, Nitro Pro, Lead Finger Racing, A10 Racing, and Simpson Designs. My local track is Monk's Corner Raceway, and
Sweet. And we have Brennan Schimmel, who's also from that same area. He's probably the oldest of them all of these guys. Well, he just came from club racing. His dad owns Coastal RC, right, Brandon?
Yeah, it's Coastal RC.
How'd you make out in your main?
I had a ball cut pop off in the first lap, went a lap down, but then made my way back to second, a couple seconds off the leader.
Sweet. So I think you're the oldest of this group. So just tell everybody where you're from and what you're running.
I'm Brennan Schimmel. I'm from Virginia Beach, Virginia, on the East Coast. My home track is Coastal RC, which we opened up a couple months ago, as Keenan said. Big thanks to all my sponsors: Kyosho, aka Reds Racing, Phantom, LFR, Easy Customs Painting, MKS, JT Bearings, PT Fluids, MTC Racing, FDJ, AMR, Coastal RC, Fame Wolf Racing, Futaba, and 920 Designs.
Sweet. And of course, we have two JQ racers with me that I'm proud of. I know pretty good. And our first time being on the podcast, we have Ashton Abdul. What's up, Ashton? Tell everybody where you're from.
Hey guys, Ashton Abdul. I'm a Midwest racer, Omaha, Nebraska. My home track is the Hobbytown Hobbyplex. It's a cool indoor track. It's kind of a bigger 10 scale track, but we like to race 8 scale in the winter, and we get some good turnouts there. So huge shout out to all my sponsors, JQ Racing, of course, J Concepts, Ultimate Racing, MKS, Sidewinder Fuels, Beach RC, and
And of course we have, thanks Ashton, we have Hot Sauce Kody Watson. What's going on? Fresh out of his California tour, where he's out there being all California, like, had a good time. What's up, Kody? How you doing?
I'm doing good.
And you are from? Tell everybody where you're from.
I'm
from
from Jackson, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
I flow with RC, SCR, around that area.
Mm-hmm. And then of course he's been on the podcast himself. He's pretty much well known as well. I would say probably the most experienced of the group, because he's been to many worlds and whatnot. And it's Camden Lime. What's up, Camden? How are you?
What's up, guys? How are you?
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm from Peoria, Arizona, 15 years old. Home track's the TNC out in Maricopa. I run for S-Works, Ultimate, Hot Race, Futaba, VP, Expert, Beach RC, JT Bearings, Macklin, SCRC, DRP, and Bipolar Designs, and MH Designs, Matt Hawkinson.
Sweet. So what's up, you guys? Thank you for coming on the podcast. I haven't figured out a name for you guys, but I want to call this like a youth roundtable meeting. This is all about giving you guys some love, and also I want to get you guys' thoughts on what's going on in RC and whatnot, because like for me, you guys are the future. Like, what's the age limit? I think who's the youngest here? Is it Joey?
Yeah, I'm the youngest. I'm 14 years old.
Okay, so and Brandon, you're 18, right?
Yeah.
So we have 14 to 18. It's not a big demographic in RC, unfortunately. There are a few young drivers out there, but not there. I would like there to be more, but unfortunately there isn't. And but I think it's important that people hear you guys' voices. So I guess I'm gonna start out with that. Why do you guys think there isn't more young guys racing RC cars and with you guys? And why do you think maybe kind of there's no big focus on you guys? Yes, you got a youth, a junior race. I know, like at PNB they'll have one. That won a DNC last year, I think. I can't remember. It's been a
Man, wish I could still do that.
yeah. Well, you're out of that group. Why do you guys think we don't have as many young racers in RC at the moment? Yeah, we'll just give you guys thoughts and let us know. So take a turn. I guess we'll start out with Brennan. You're the oldest one.
So younger racers, I would say, probably parents cost wise. They look into the hobby and they probably feel intimidated by it. A lot of people, or most people, know what they're doing to a certain extent, and a lot of people kind of stay to them. I mean, a lot of the RC community is very helpful, but it can be really intimidating starting out and not knowing what you're doing at all.
Yeah, I could imagine that. How about you? What do you think, Ashton? Because you're one of these. I think out of all of these guys, you're kind of doing it on your own. I think I know most of these guys, their parents are involved with them a lot, but your parents don't really go to the track with you. You're doing it on your own. You do have some great people in your side, like, Mr. Fuller, Mike Fuller, and those guys help you out. But as a racer kind of doing it on his own, how do you feel? Why do you feel there are more younger guys in?
So yeah, I think a lot of the issue, I think, is just exposure. I like young kids, no matter really how old they are, 10, 12, I mean, high school. I think a lot of kids get this one, like, I guess you could say, sport that they just enjoy doing. And for a lot of people, I think it just kind of snowballs. So like football, track, I don't know, baseball, all that kind of stuff. Those are just a lot more common than RC is, and kids start off with that, and then they just get rolling, and that's pretty much all they focus on. And I think RC, really, a lot of it, I am going to have to agree with Brennan. I think costs sometimes, and just going to the track, getting the experience can be a little bit intimidating sometimes, but I think a lot of it is just the exposure. There's just not, that people just aren't getting exposed to it like they do other sports.
How about you, Joey and David? You guys are the younger guys in this. I think David's the youngest. But what do you guys think? How can we get more young guys into racing and whatnot?
David, you can go first.
I'm thinking, well, with there not being as many in the hobby, there's a couple reasons. Like Ashton is saying, like Ashton's situation is like parent support. I'm lucky to have a very knowledgeable father, and he supports me in anything I do. And some kids just don't have that. There's a local kid around me that is in that situation, and he has the potential, but doesn't have the support to back him up. So we try to, support him as much as we can. The cost, for a 12-year-old kid to get into something like this, I had to show my dad for like 3 months that it was something I really wanted to do. And some kids just don't want it that seriously, in my opinion. Some intimidation at the track. You got, this big sponsored guys, and for some kids that, aren't as competitive as I am, they might see that and get, scared. Me, I wanted to beat them as soon as possible. I just think that sometimes the intimidation can be a little overbearing. I was lucky to get in with some of the faster guys at the time, and they would teach me and help me. And I think sometimes there just isn't that for everybody. I feel like I'm a very lucky person in my case. But yeah, that's my opinion on it.
How about you, Joey?
I think it's most intimidating for young drivers to get into, because it can be more intimidating for young drivers than older drivers, because at the track, I feel like all the older guys, they can judge you off of your appearance, how young you are. They don't want an unexperienced driver on the track with them, right? I think everybody can understand that. So you feel a lot of pressure as a young driver to beat everybody, right? Also off the track, even at school, you can, it's a lot of pressure to show everybody that you're not blowing $20,000 a year on a toy, which everybody thinks it is,
Yeah, I hate that. I hate when people say toy cars.
that's a huge misunderstanding, and I think everywhere it's that's the one thing that bothers me. I know also is Brennan. He said that it's expensive. You know, when I got into racing, the Traxxas Slash, I mean, $300 for that, and my dad was flipping out at first, you know. And then once we showed up to the track, we just kept going, you know. So, yeah, I definitely agree. It can be difficult at first, and you just got to open up and take your time, because, I mean, it takes a long time to get where we're all at right now, you know.
How about you, Camden and Hot Sauce? I mean, Camden, you've been to multiple worlds. You've been into this for a long time. You're pretty well known. I mean, you even call races and whatnot. What's your opinion on it?
I think for me, I think we need to have a higher media presence. You know, we had that one video go pretty viral, like on ESPN. You know, showed people kind of like what RC cars are about. But you know, these young kids are, you know, seeing pretty cool Fortnite clips and all this stuff. They're not seeing any sick whips or RC stuff. So I think we need to get higher media presence. And once we do that, I think we can get a lot more kids in, because, you know, RC is pretty cool. So I think we could do that.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Hot Sauce? What you think?
Like Camden said, you know, a lot of us kids, I guess we can all agree on being on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, you know. If we was able to get RC racing out on the media, kids would see. Like, my kids at my school always ask, you know, and they think it's funny that I race, like they say, toy cars, you know. But if they were to actually, like, see more of it, kind of like Supercross, right, or motocross, you'll see that and you're like, dang, that's cool. If we had actual races, like, streamed on ESPN or something, I think the sport could really take off. That's what we're missing right now.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Well, we have to make a viable product. Like, we can't have 3 days of qualifying on ESPN and stuff like that. So, I fully get that. What do you guys friends think about this? Like, do they come to the tracks and do they say they realize that this is pretty cool? Have any of your friends actually gotten into RC from you inviting them to the track? Well, any of you guys?
A couple of mine have visited and stuff like that, and I've actually brought my car to and we drove it around the parking lot at one of my schools and stuff like that. But yeah, we had a whole day, little field trip out to the parking lot. And we drove my little truggy around.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get them to the track and actually see, like Camden said, see some sick whips, see what we're actually doing, because I think it comes down to it. People just don't know. Like I said, they think we're playing with toy cars, like nerds in a field somewhere. But I mean, it's a lot more than that. I mean, we wouldn't be talking on this podcast if it wasn't. So definitely, I think you guys aren't alone when it comes to exposure. But I think it's going to come down to you guys in the end, because you guys are this you got, like, you know, Snapchat and Instagram. I only do Facebook and Instagram. I barely do Instagram, but I think that's very important. It's important where you guys start doing more of that, because all it takes is that one little video, like the TikTok video, to go viral. Maybe something else will catch on, you know, and then some people will get into it and whatnot. But you guys are the social media gurus at the moment. So you grew up with this. You know, people like me, we didn't. So, but yeah. How about, like,
speaking of the media?
Yeah, what's up?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I said, speaking of the media, USRC is doing a race this weekend at Adrenaline. And yeah, we're having a TV show called Motor Week. They're coming out to report a whole series on the.
Yeah, I was talking
for
to
the
Rob
entire
about
race.
It. Yeah, Rob was telling me about it. I'm actually gonna have him on next week to talk about it. Ryan Lutz is coming up to that race. So it's pretty good, and that's the type of stuff that we need. We need to be hitting this from all angles.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. So, who are some of you guys? Some of the people that you look up into this in the industry, like. Some guys you like, it may be a driver, it may be just somebody, a personality, or it may not even be an RC person. But who are some of the guys that you guys look up to? Let's start with you, Kody.
So I gotta say, Ryan Lutz is his personality, the way he controls himself is like unbelievable. But as far as driving style, I watch a lot of James Stewart and how aggressive and stuff he is. I think that affects my driving style a lot.
I would
just
agree with you
watching
there.
him.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you send it, and then like James would be out in the lead and still be trying to go 110%. And I've even told you that, like, you gotta slow down a little bit, slow down and go fast. How about you, Joey?
Definitely Joe Bornhorst all
Yeah.
the way. I mean, a few years ago he was all the way at the bottom. Broken leg, he couldn't walk. Now he's, one of the best RC drivers in the world. So I have a lot of respect for him. He's helped me out so much, and living close to him is great. Because we can go and out to practice, and he gives me tips every time we practice, which is so helpful. Definitely him, and Ryan Lutz as well. Like Kody said, I grew up racing with Ryan Lutz, and both him and Joe have been so much help to me over the past 5 years, really.
Yeah, Joe is kind of came into RC late, and he's excelled rapidly, and I think that comes from his motocross background. A big deal with that has helped him out with that. How about you, Camden? Who's some of the guys you look up to or want to emulate?
Definitely Ryan Mayfield. I've known him since I first started RC, so I've always looked up to him. My driving style is pretty much like his. I also really look up to Adam Drake. I think everyone could say that they look up to Adam Drake because he's the biggest name in RC. He knows everything. So definitely those two drivers are definitely the two people I look up to most.
Sweet. David?
I think more from on like a local standpoint near me, it's Evan Vale.
Yeah.
He, drives really clean, really smooth. I really just like his driving style, and he's one of the nicest guys you'll meet at the track. Everybody likes him. Everybody's all, talking good about him and everything. And I've been able to become friends with him over the, year and a half or so I've been racing. And on more like a pro standpoint, like everybody else, Ryan Lutz, he just carries himself well. Whenever he has a bad race, he knows it. He'll say it, but he's never angry. He'll always walk around with a smile. So that's kind of my two.
It's funny you say that. I was trying to get him angry at DNC. I was like, man, you got to get mad. Let's go.
I don't think you can get that guy angry. I've never seen him mad before.
Yeah, stop being so nice. Let's go. Come on. Let's win. How about you, Ashton?
I'm gonna go kind of from a local standpoint as well. Van Dalen's for me, just ever kind of since I got into it, like actually racing. Just like I was always like, man, who is that? At everyone, and that was probably, and just ever like since I started getting better, just watching them get better, and really see to what they have become today. It just always it reminds me you can do that. It's gonna take a lot of time. Like I said, they've been a huge help to me as well. Whenever I go up to Minnesota, we always have a great time, and Sean knows what he's doing. Seth, all those guys. So
Seth,
really, Van Dalen.
Seth, super impressive. Was super impressive at DNC.
Yeah,
and smart dude. His dad's really smart. Like when it comes to setup and just doing stuff with cars and
Sean knows about everything.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot of. I think we're going to see a lot of Seth and Dalen when we get back fully racing her. How about you, Brennan? You're a little older.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you like? Who's one of your favorite drivers or person that you look up to, Brennan?
From a local point as well, no one else is going to know him, obviously, but Scott Thomas.
I know who you're talking about.
He got me racing, traveling-wise. We had a track near me called Debbie's, and I would just run four-wheel drive short course there a couple years ago. And he got me to go to the tilt yard, and I got an e-buggy, and then we ended up getting both buggies and the truggy and started traveling. But pro-wise, Ogden has helped me out an insane amount from when I started getting faster and faster. He's always been a huge help for the track, whether it be with my motor or even a setup, even though he's on a different He's always on a different chassis than I am, but he's always been a huge help to me.
Yeah, Cole. I mean, I like Cole. He's fiery. I think he's gonna read. I think he's gonna do
Super
really,
funny.
Yeah, I think he's gonna do really well at PMB here coming up because it's like he's been racing a lot, and that's East Coast. That's his turf. We'll see. I hope he does good.
There's gonna be a lot of people, Dean, Psycho.
Yeah, it's gonna. I'm just not. I'm not gonna be able to make it, but I'll be watching. It's gonna be a long weekend. So, but that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So, Brennan, you're in school, out of school?
I graduated a couple weeks ago.
Okay, so you're working now?
Yep, like 50 hours a week.
What do you do for work?
Carpenter. So I build, do trimming, tabletops, or countertops, anything, fencing.
All right, cool. So you're learning a trade. I guess I wanted to talk to you guys, the ones that are in school. How do you balance school life? Like, I mean, you're all young teenagers. You're all probably, you guys, probably get into girls and stuff like that too. I don't know. I mean, I was when I was your guys' age. How do you guys balance school and RC?
For me, I try to make the strongest bond I can with my teacher, so they understand and know what I'm doing. And I always tell them, like, the first day what I do, and I miss a lot of school, so just make sure I'm on top of my grades, and just making sure A's and B's.
Yeah. How about you, Joey? How do you balance school? You're still you guys are just getting in. I don't know how the school system, the exact school system works in America, because we didn't have like juniors high and all that, so we just had high school in Bermuda. So how about you balancing school and RC?
Really the exact same as Camden. Always first week, at the least, I talk to all my teachers, just make sure they know what I do, just like Camden said. I also miss all school days every year. So it's important that I have a good relation with my principal and my teachers. Also, I finished with all A's and B's last year for the past 2 years, which has been a big help, missing 20 plus days a year, 25, so I think it's pretty easy for me, being able to do online school at the track. So it's a good program for me, easy to do, easy to understand, easy to keep on top of my grades.
Ashton, YG, you work and go school, and you're about to go to university here soon. How do you balance all of that?
My parents have been pretty conservative with sending me to races and all that. So especially since this last year was my junior year of high school, I was taking 4 college classes last year on top of a couple other classes. So it was, last year especially was pretty conservative, but I think for the most part this year, I kind of told my parents and they understood. I was like, I've worked really hard in high school, and I would really appreciate it if you guys let me go to a little bit more races this year. And I think they accepted that, so that's cool. Hopefully I'll be able to go to more races this year. But yeah, it's been, as much as I want to, like these last couple of years, I haven't been able to make it to as much races as I wanted to, but definitely some of the big ones that I've wanted to go to, I've been able to make those happen. So, but yeah, it was tough, but it's good now, so that's good.
Yeah. How about you, David?
So I haven't been racing for that long, so I haven't been, traveling to the huge events, missing, weeks at a time at school or anything. But I'm, just like Camden and Joey was saying, I got to start now, like telling all my teachers what I've been doing, and because we're planning to make, bigger races this year. But I just make sure I'm on top of my schoolwork. Not everybody at my school knows what I do really, so I don't think it's a big deal as long as my grades are up. Between life, I'm not the most popular kid, so it's not really hard. I mean, I have friends and stuff, but I'm not like on my phone 24/7. It's not hard, but it can get overwhelming sometimes. Like, if I just want to have a chill day and then I miss a bunch of assignments or something. But yeah, just make sure I'm on top of my schoolwork and everything's fine.
Yeah. That's important. How about you, Sauce? Because you're an athlete too. You're playing baseball, you're playing football, doing RC car racing. How you juggle all that stuff?
Yeah, so I just quit football recently. I really didn't want to, but I guess it's a sacrifice to do what I love. I've been doing it since I was 7, 8, since I was a kid. So I'm still playing baseball. I've been doing workouts and stuff. My school isn't the biggest, but a bunch of people know me, so they know what I do, I take a lot of crap for it, but at least my teachers, my principal, they all support me on racing, so.
That's good. That's really good. I didn't know you quit football, though. You're not going to play anymore?
Yeah, I'm done. My senior year, though, I will, I'm getting a gym membership. I will be doing football. I used to play basketball. I quit basketball my 8th grade year.
Okay.
I started getting serious. I'm really good in basketball. I still practice basketball.
Right.
So I would do football, basketball, and baseball.
I can't agree to that too, because I played football for 6-7 years and I had to quit that because it was always on the weekends and I was trying to focus on club racing. So then I went and played baseball, got good at that. Then I had to stop that because I was traveling too much to the week races. That's when I started golf because I can do that whenever. So works out.
Do they have golf in high school now? Or
yeah, they got a pretty competitive golf. There's a lot of good juniors around the world right now. So they got a competitive golf high school.
Yeah, that's cool. Golf is just a big sport, period, man. I got friends in Bermuda that went to golf schools to become, I guess, they're not pro golfers, but they teach people how to play golf, and they make bank. They make a lot of money. All right, so let's talk about something that I feel we need in RC, and we've probably at one point talked about it. I've talked about it on the podcast. There is no, all right, none of you guys are pro racers. I think CJ was going to come on here, but he didn't. He's like the only real pro racer out of you group of guys, right? And I mean pro, like probably getting a salary or, getting everything, expenses paid for and all that type of stuff. Let's ask this question. How do you become a pro in RC? There's no clear path to becoming a pro. So, I mean, like we just talked about it. Like golf, you can do it a certain way. Obviously, basketball, football, other sports, even motocross, there's a path to becoming a pro racer. But in RC, there isn't. So what do you think has to change? If you could make a path to becoming a pro RC racer, what would it be? Go ahead, Camden, because I come to you because you've been around that lifestyle a little bit longer, so you can understand what I'm trying to say here.
Yeah, for me to get to the professional level, or start getting good deals and getting travels, stuff like that. Really, I took a lot of time when I was younger to get better, and then when I started sports, it kind of lied off and just started running intermediate, stuff like that. And for me, going to the big races and getting your name out there and having people look at you and definitely go to bigger races. And once you get that done, after I won a few DNC, stuff like that, or got second in DNC, fourth at Silver State, stuff like that, you start getting a name for yourself, and then companies start coming to you and get become professional.
Yeah, I mean, but you're fortunate in that point because you kind of live out on the West Coast, so you get to go to a lot of these bigger races that are well known.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for where I live and the people I have surrounding me. Mayfield, Rifkin, Tenner,
Mm-hmm.
Tommy, all of them. Those 4 guys definitely helped me get to the speed and level I'm at. So, having those guys to practice with and pace off of, it definitely helps a lot. So I'm very fortunate where I've been located.
Yeah. How about you, Brennan? You're up there in Virginia. You guys on the East Coast. You don't have it's always been harder for people on the East Coast, race-wise, I think Cole is the only real pro to come out of the East Coast. Would you like to see a clear path to becoming an RC pro? Like, if you go to motocross, if you do well at Loretta Lynn's in the amateur class or whatever, in the amateur rankings, you're eventually probably going to be scouted and become a pro. It's not really like that in RC.
I don't really think there's ever going to be a defined path. I think it's just off of hard work, dedication, results coming from that within time, and then you like putting yourself out there, like Camden said, promoting your brands that you drive with that help you out, and yeah. But I mean, a bunch of we don't have a ton of tracks on the East Coast. Like me, the closest 8-scale track is about 4.5 hours, or 4.5 hours. So I had no practice except at the races on practice day was my practice. So that's why we opened up our track.
Yeah. Okay, Joey, you live in the Midwest. It's a popular race area. There's lots of fast racers coming out of that area. So you're fortunate to live there. What about you? What do you think needs to happen?
I think the clear-cut goal for everybody that is super serious about racing is make it to Worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I first met Joe Bornhorst, I said, I want to be a pro just like you. And first thing he said, he just said, work hard. So ever since then, I've been working hard, practicing as much as I can. I'm not saying I'm close yet, but I just want to make a Worlds as soon as I can. Represent my sponsors, do everything, get good A-main finishes at the race time events, everywhere else, DNC, which I hope to do this weekend, and just keep on grinding.
Yeah.
There's no fast way to get there.
No, there isn't. There isn't. It seems a lot of it comes down to getting to these bigger races, which I say that to Ashton too. So that's why I'm kind of glad it's going to PNB. How about you, Ashton? Do you think what would you like to see happen or change to make it easier? Not easier, but to, like, if I do this, I know that if I do this, this, and that, I'm on the right path.
Yeah. As much as I'd like to see a clear cut, or even like somewhat definite path, to becoming a pro driver, I don't think it's going to happen. But I think it's almost in some ways good that it's not going to happen, because then it in some ways like combines like A team drivers with pro drivers if there was that clear definite path.
Mm-hmm.
And I think RC doesn't really have right now, especially. I don't think RC has the whole industry doesn't really have the budget for that. But as far as what like everybody's kind of said, just being able to make it.
Yeah, you're breaking up pretty bad.
In that. Oh, am I?
Yeah, but that's all right. Keep on going.
Okay. Yeah, being able to make it to bigger races, I think that's a huge part of it. I would like to see that racing more locally kind of gives you it's easier to get a name maybe from racing locally. That would be pretty cool to see, and I think some way that you could do that is through higher media presence, or kind of what we were talking about earlier, is getting more people exposed to it. And so everybody, even in the RC community that are already exposed, can see what's going on locally. So I don't know. It's a big question to ask, but yeah, I don't really know. I guess that's my 2 cents on it.
Kody, you just came from California. You went out there and lived the RC dream. What's your thoughts on this question?
Where I live, there's a few fast guys, you know. But bro, I think taking the opportunities that you get and like making the best out of them, like JQ, like I don't know, I was shocked to like get that, but at the same time, that gave me motivation to like
to do better,
push myself to, you know, go to California, learn setup. Like that's a big opportunity for me, you know. So I took it and try to make the best of it.
All right. And to our youngest racer, David, how about you? You're still kind of wet behind the ears with this. You haven't been to your first. Well, you're going to PNB next week.
Yeah, I'm still pretty new. I've only done about 3 like national events, you could say. But I feel like, in my opinion, it's just, you know, work hard. You know, get your name out in your local region. You know, make sure you are on, you know, Facebook seems to be our biggest app. So make sure you're doing your race reports, getting your name out there, and then start going to these bigger races, get solid finishes. You know, you're going to always improve. But, you know, yeah, at least start an open or a class you can, you know, make a mains and then work your way up. I think with solid finishes, good attitude, just working hard in general, I think that'll help. You know, you're not going to get anywhere by just sitting on your butt.
No, you're not. You got to put in the work. Got to put in the work.
Yeah. So, and I think just like Kody said, making the best of all the opportunities you can get. You know, if you have someone that says, you know, we can go out and practice this weekend and you're not doing anything, you know, go. You know, do your best. Do, you know, whatever you can to improve or exceed on something that maybe other guys aren't. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And I think another good thing is to listen to people. Like somebody, you may have heard it over and over before, but I was always taught, like, never say you know, just always listen, because you might pick up on something that you didn't hear before. So if a guy who has some knowledge is going to be like tell you something, give him that little bit of time and listen to him, and he'll give you more knowledge as you go on. All right. Well, what is something you guys want to see change in RC? Like something you want to see change, made better. We talked about media presence, but it could be anything. It could be anything to do with races, sponsorships, anything like that. Ashton, you go first.
I'm going to say my first thing that I'd love to see happen is more track time at races. I try to go practice as much as I can, but with my track, they don't really just focus on 8 scale, and I pretty much just focus on 8 scale. It's sometimes at some points really it doesn't help to go to the track just because it's kind of there's a lot that goes with that. But it's for me, I think more track time at events would be awesome. I know it's going to take a while, I think, until we can get more of that to happen. But I know Fuel Nationals last year, and the amount of track time I got was unreal.
Yeah.
But I know RCGP's kind of starting to do that, so that's cool. But yeah, that's probably the number one thing that I'd like to see as of now is more track time at races.
How about you, Brennan?
I'd like to see more racing. I mean, we're talking about trying to grow the industry. Racing is where, people tune in for motocross for the finals and the mains, or even the LCQ.
Yeah.
They don't really, at least I don't tune in for qualifying or anything like that for the first motos. I go in for the final. So, yeah, definitely more racing for me.
Yeah, I think that's what even Rob's doing with his race, the FX.
Yeah, with the FX, yeah. They do motos just like motocross. They have a certain amount of motos and then however many transfer. And then they have an LCQ, just like motocross.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with you there. Joey, what you think?
I think it needs to be cheaper to get into, for sure. I've seen the full effects of getting into the hobby, and it's everything around you in your personal life changes, you know. So if we can make it a win-win situation to get into the hobby and make it easier for everybody to do, the hobby could grow, and I think it'd be easier for media to get in as well. If they see more people doing it, they're like, okay, yeah, this is a real thing that should be important to people, you know? So yeah, it definitely needs to be easier to get into.
Sweet. I agree there. Like that stock slash was a great gateway into RC, and it's gone. It's not there anymore. I mean, it's still around, but you know what I mean. It's just not what it used to be. So
yeah, if you don't have a local track, there's no way you can just go out. You know, it's got to be very hard to figure out where to get started. You know. How
about you, Camden? What would you like to see change?
I'd say, you know, make the races maybe a little shorter. You know, when I went to Worlds, I was there for I think 16 days, and it's just astronomical how long you have to sit there every day. You only get 2 hours of two rounds of practice every day. So that, and I'd say for me, like what I think I like the most is running one class, you know, when it's just open buggy like at nationals. I feel like it gives you a more understanding on where you're at in the industry. So maybe a few more races where it's just buggy and truggy, you know what I mean? And also, I don't think I said my two main sponsors, S-Works and RC1 at the beginning. So,
oh, don't worry.
Probably should say those.
Don't worry.
Probably say those.
Yeah. Well, like even like RCGP, I remember people were complaining like on Saturday, not complaining, but complaining in a good way. Like, I'm tired of running. Like, and at a 3-day race, and you got so much time, and it was just one class. It was hard for people to understand that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect because, you know, you're only there for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's it. You only got 3 days. You're not there from Wednesday to Monday because, you know, you got to fly. That's why I like it like that because, you know, and you get an understanding. Like RCGP is perfect because you have your main class, you know, the RCGP, the spotlight. It's like 450 to 250 pretty much. So that's why I enjoy it.
Yeah, and you want it. How about you, Sauce? What you think?
Like you guys been saying, for sure the best race I've been to, and I race a lot. For sure the best race for me was RCGP, hands down. You focus on one car, you get tons of run time. Like I've never been sick of driving my car. But when it came to the mains, there was no excuse to like not have a good setup because you had all the time, the whole weekend to have a good setup. You know, you didn't stay up super late. You could go out to eat and then go to the hotel and then relax and be ready for the next day. The only thing is that we could do better at all the tracks is if we could get spectators to like, all right, come and watch, and they're like, oh, look at that, check that out. You know, look at these pro guys run and stuff. That would bring more interest into the hobby, I believe.
It's funny you say that because at PMB, Dave always puts the pro race on like after lunch, I think. The pro finals, like pro nitro finals after lunch. And I'm like, there's got to be people in Tennessee not doing nothing that want to come watch a race. And we never get spectators. I've never seen spectators besides RC people there. Maybe we need to promote it more. I don't know. How about you, David? What do you want to see change in RC?
In my opinion, it's the marshalling duties. Like some said, we did like shorter races. I think when you're losing, 2 to 3 minutes per qualifier, and you go to like PNB that has like 60 qualifiers or however many there is, you're losing those 2 to 3 minutes. It adds up. And like I've been to some races where we've been there, list like 100 entries, and we'll be there till 2 o'clock in the morning, and they're just waiting so long for the marshals. And if you just get out there, drop your car, we'd all have a better experience, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you either just gotta. It comes down to the race director. He's got to start docking people, and
Yeah.
And people just need to drop their cars off, go turn marshal, and then they could talk about what happened afterwards, you know?
Yeah.
So, good stuff.
That's what my man Lance did.
Yeah, well, it's if you dock a few people, eventually they will learn and they'll do it. Or like they do it in Europe, they I think you have to provide a marshal for your race or something like that. Joseph explaining it to me.
That's how it's supposed to be here,
Yeah.
but nobody ever, especially like in the qualifiers, nobody ever goes that far.
Yeah.
But if I know I'm not going to be able to make it, like this past weekend, I had to get my nitro car ready because I marshal race.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked someone if they could do it for me, and they did, and everything was fine. But
Well, I mean,
yeah.
that happened to Cole 2017. He had a marshal. It happened to Cole and happened to what's his name? He drove S-Works at the time. He's from California. But basically, like the guy didn't show up to marshal for Cole, and they docked him a lap in his semi, and he drove his ass off though. He that was one of the best rides I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So all right, so all of you guys are going to PNB. Camden, this is your first PNB, right? Or you've been before?
Yeah, it's my first PNB.
Oh yeah, in for long nights. Well, the pro class I think they run pretty good. You know, like the schedule is different. So who's all running?
Well, it's different every year, actually.
Is it?
Yeah, some years it's they'll do pro sportsman open or some. I mean, last year we had pros at night. Like I had my qualifier at like 1 a.m.
All right. Yeah, that's I would be asleep. So we're gonna have a little PNB smack talk. Who's all running pro?
Me.
I am.
All right, so we got to say who's running because I don't know all you guys. So Kody, you're running pro.
Camden Lime.
Camden, you're running pro.
Yeah.
Brennan, you're running
Joey
pro.
Bourdon. Yeah.
So 3 of you guys running pro. Who's gonna
I
be?
am.
Who's I am?
Joey.
Okay, Joey. So you're running. So 4 of you. Who's gonna be the top finisher out of you guys, and why?
Just saying. We're gonna be waxing some. Camden's coming to the East Coast.
Oh yeah,
You don't know
Camden.
what's gonna happen with him.
Oh,
Come on
He's gonna
now.
be gonna
Come
be
on
waxing
now.
some.
Camden.
East
This
Coast
is
is my forte. It's my forte.
hey. It's a different type of race, dude. That
I know. I love East Coast dirt. I mean, I've only been to one indoor race, so that's gonna be something. But
it's way better than Silver State.
it's indoor, right?
Yeah.
That's what I
Oh,
thought. Okay.
the
Is PNB indoor?
oh yeah, but you'll see
it's
it's
in
Okay.
this big old like.
Yeah. I know it's like a horse arena or something.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
big.
So
So okay,
yeah, my goal out there is gonna be like I want to be a top 5. That's my if I do that, I'll be like really happy.
Sauce, what you got to say about this? Because I know this smack talk's been going on for a while now. Now everybody's coming to
Shoot, I don't know what
East
I don't
Coast.
know what Camden's talking about. Top 5, where I'm going for the
Yeah.
win.
We've been guys, we've been talking a bunch, when it comes to like recharge, Fortnite, whatever it is, just on the game. We're always competitive,
Mm-hmm.
So now I always go to the West Coast, I always go to those guys' territory. We struggle a little bit with setup, but we've been there enough, we're starting to figure it out. Now I feel like I have a little bit of a home advantage with this nice indoor dirt, So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully I take opportunity of that.
Oh, this is gonna be like a grudge match. I can't wait.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh yeah. That smooth East Coast dirt.
We're hyped.
Camden's
We're
gonna be blipping that throttle like he's going through a rutted section.
I think I'll be okay. I think I'll be okay.
I love it. Oh my gosh, smack talk.
Hey, I want to see you run pro at DNC, man. What's up with that?
Oh, he's going to next year. If we go, yeah, we'll be there. How about, so Ashton and David, you guys are running open. You
Yes, sir.
excited?
Yeah. It's my first one too.
Yeah, Ashton, this is your first big
Yeah,
race besides the nationals.
Yeah, this will be my first 500 plus entries race. I'm excited. I'm pretty confident about how I can do it.
Open ain't no joke at PNB, man.
So, but I guess that's true. I think there's 73
it's pretty big.
people signed up for open buggy now, so we'll see what happens. But I'm feeling pretty good about where I can finish. For
that's gonna be awesome.
So,
David,
so
are you ready?
Yeah, I got to get some stuff in to finish up the cars this week, but I'm ready to go.
Good stuff. I think it's going to be a great race. First real big race since everybody got locked on off COVID. Everybody's itching to race. It's going to be good. The pro class, man, I don't even know how to call that because Cole's been racing, Spencer's been racing. He's on the East Coast practicing. It's going to be tight. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be good to see. And then I want to see who wins out of you 4 guys in pro. And then let's see what David and Ashton do in open. Smack talk.
I'm going for the double win in open.
Watch us go all 4 right back to back in qualifying.
Who all has been practicing over lockdown?
Me.
I got a few runs in. I raced
same.
out the mod championship race with Spencer, Tanner, and Mayfield. I was running second there, but made a few mistakes. So, but yeah, I ran a few times, just working on the new car. So
sweet. It's gonna be awesome. All right, we're gonna make a bet. What's the bet?
For who's gonna win?
Yeah, no, out of you 4, who's gonna be the top finisher?
I got one. Whoever. So like for me and Kody, like usually at some races we'll go play some mini golf or something.
Mm-hmm.
So out of us 2, whoever does better. So pretty much Cody's gonna have to be paying for my mini golf.
All right.
So I don't know about that. Yeah, I could do that. I could do that.
And Brandon, what you gonna say? Brandon? You're just being quiet. I like you. I think you got the most smack talk. He said, "I'm going for the win." You gonna beat these guys?
Just them? Shoot, I'm gonna beat the whole field.
Whoa! Chill.
Hey, come on.
Me first.
You got to beat me and Kody first.
Oh my
All right,
gosh.
wait. What's our bet? So
Same.
Camden, is it you and Kody and then me and Joey?
I don't care. I mean, I don't
Okay,
care.
that puts
Whatever
Kody
works.
automatically.
All I know is if we're
deficit.
betting something, I'll be on the top. So
Oh my
I'll be
gosh.
okay.
This is what goes on Fortnite when you guys are playing, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, it's nonstop.
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
I just mess around with Brennan because he's not that good at Fortnite, so it works out.
Speaking, okay,
They all talk smack while I smack them in Fortnite.
Okay, so all of you play
I
Fortnite.
beat you, Ashton.
I did for a while.
I haven't played it in a while though.
You know what you guys haven't done for a while? You haven't done
I
VRC
am
for a while.
still the smoke though. I haven't touched that.
I don't have VRC, so
You guys were all
I
on
haven't touched
VRC
it.
for, well, not all of you, but Kody, Ashton, Brennan, Camden. You guys were racing a lot, and then it stopped.
Camden wasn't on there.
yeah, I don't have VRC.
Okay. Oh, it was
We
Blake.
did the series, and then after that, yeah.
That game's hard. That thing's hard. I suck at that. Everybody's like, "You gotta come play." It's like, man, I suck. I do not want to be. I suck.
Hey, whatever happens, I feel like it'll be fun no matter what. Hanging out with all the boys. So
That's what it's gonna be.
Good
I
luck,
want to
good,
get.
good luck to everyone out there.
Yeah, it's been a long time since you guys all got together to race. It's gonna be fun. It's a wild race. Like trust me, Camden. You haven't been to nothing like this yet.
Ton of space for us to mess around and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, it's definitely unique, Camden. It's a long weekend, like so.
Oh, you know what? I just figured out the bet.
All right, let's go. Let's hear it.
Whoever, what's it called? Bottom spot out of all of us pays for the rental golf cart.
Oh, there you go. There you go. But I think you guys are going to have fun. And the smack talk is going to be off the hook. And I'm actually upset that I'm not going now. So you guys have
Only
fun.
one click of a button.
I know, but I don't want to take one click of a button and then I have to spend, get locked in America for a while. And then I can't come home.
You don't like America?
I love America, but I love my family even more. I love them. How about European racing? You guys ever have an interest of going over to Europe? Have any favorite European drivers?
Yeah, I was gonna go out for I was gonna go out for an RCGP, I think, out there, and then I was thinking about going to one of the DXR events. I know Brennan was thinking about going to.
Yeah,
one
I was
too,
going to
but-
be going to DXR as well. I was going to be staying with Mick and Yao.
Oh yeah, that's nice. It's a good race. That's a great race.
I was supposed to do the both RCGPs in America. So,
Yeah, well, it's coming back. It's
with
something.
Cav. Yeah.
It's something coming up. I can't say it's going to be released here soon, which is pretty cool. It's just RCGP related. So, yeah. But yeah, European racing looks fun, man. I want to get over there myself and go watch some racing and stuff like that. So we shall see. Well, anyway, guys, I want to appreciate you guys coming on here. And thank you, Joey, for organizing it. Anything you guys want to say in closing? So you can say thank you to your sponsors, say anything you want to say, and we'll close it out on that. So we'll start with you, David. You go first. You're the youngest.
Thank you to all my sponsors, my family for supporting me through everything. Thanks to my dad for taking me to all the races, putting up with me when I'm angry. Just thanks to everyone who's helped me. Appreciate it.
No, thank you to Joker and Chris Fails.
Yeah, thanks to Joker and Chris Fail for getting my car and my dad famous.
Them guys are insane.
They were, the day before, we stayed up till 3:30 working on the track. It was so wet.
Yeah.
And it was pretty bad.
How about you, Ashton?
I'd just like to say thanks to all my sponsors. Thanks to Keenan, No Name RC Podcast, for having us on here. This is an awesome opportunity to take and kind of say what we all have to say. And thanks to my family for letting me do what I do.
Brennan, old man Brennan, you're the oldest one.
Old man. But yeah, thanks to all you guys for coming on here as well. I had a lot of fun. YouTube, Keenan, all my sponsors, my dad, my main sponsor, my dad's wallet, and everyone else that supports me really helps out. And then thanks to Kody for getting the golf cart for next week. And other than that, glad to be here and can't wait.
Yeah, tell your dad I said, what's up, man? I saw, your dad's ripped, man. He used to be really ripped back in the day. He's still in great shape.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And then he had kids.
Yeah, I know all about that. I wasn't ripped before I had kids. I just got fatter. What about you, Joey?
Thank you to my sponsors. Thank you, Keenan, Tekno RC, aka Tekin, MKS, and Block. All of them for supporting me over the past few years. And everybody, see y'all at Psycho Nitro Blast next week. Had a lot of fun.
All right, Sauce, who are you going to say thank you to?
I don't think I did my sponsors in the beginning of the video, but I want to say thank you to my sponsors, JQ, Proline, MKS, VRP, No Name Podcast,
Ultimate.
Terry Vaughn Design, Sidewinder, Ultimate, all those guys, they help out a lot. NDRC, Beach RC, and I'm ready for this PNB race. You know, Brennan's pretty.
I love it.
Pretty talkative.
This is going to be the grudge.
We're gonna find out. It's just don't miss out on the race. It's going down. Seriously.
Oh, yeah. How about you, Killer Cam?
I'd like to thank my dad, everyone who's helped me over the years, my sponsors, S-Works, RC1 Racing, Ultimate, Hot Race, VP, Futaba, Expert, BHC, J&T Bearings, Macklin, SCRC, VRP, Bipolar Designs, and Matt Hawkinson for painting my bodies. And I'm excited for PNB. I actually got the golf cart that I don't know how to turn the camera around. The golf cart that Kody's going to be running right here, so it'll be all right. It'll be fun, and I can't wait to hang out with all these goofballs.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
We'll invoice you the hourly rate. Cody.
You know what? I'm going to give the winner out of you guys in pro, I'm going to send you guys a hat. So I think I have some left.
That's going to be perfect, I'm size small, medium, so you can just send it right now.
It's snapback. Snapback.
Okay.
Oh,
buddy.
okay.
And as for the two open guys, I don't know. Hey, Ashton, if you've been open, you make money. So there you go. David, you do your best. This is your first PNB, David? Or you been before?
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's my first one. I'm going for the win in both.
There you go.
We'll see.
Are you racing Truggy too, or just Nitro Body?
Yeah, I'm racing E-Truck.
Well, there you
Yeah.
go. You might win E-Truck.
I can win. I think I can win E-Buggy. I'm not sure. I've never seen Ashton drive, so I don't know.
Ashton's pretty fast.
Oh
man.
snap! So there's a bet about to go on in the open class.
Oh,
too.
here we go. So
Yeah,
we might as well have this
yeah.
now. All right. Who's
Y'all,
gonna?
y'all better be watching.
We're forgetting about Joey too. You know,
Oh.
he's in the pro class too. So
I know,
Hey,
Joey.
I just
He
came
was
out
quiet.
of last weekend, had the most consistent race of my life, really. So I'm really ready.
Silent
I
assassin.
think
Well,
Kody
if you had the
and
most
Joey gonna have a
consistent
good battle
race of
for
your
the
life last time, I mean,
Oh my god.
I figured out. I
means there's
figured
no more
everything
better.
out. I figured everything out. And I'm ready.
You know what's funny
All right.
about this is that like 10, 15 years from now, when you guys, like, I'll tell you what, I watch Greg Degani and Richard Saxton and Barry Baker and Paul Scarello, all these guys talking all this smack to themselves, each other at races, right? And this is exactly what they did 20 years ago, 20 plus years ago, when they were racing, like, you know, pros and all that stuff. The same stuff. Greg's like, I'm going to get in his head, watch. Yeah, and this is going to be you guys like 10, 15 years from now. Talking smack about, remember when I used to kick your ass in Fortnite? Yeah, PNB. So, all right. Whoever wins PNB out of you guys, whoever is the top racer in Nitro Buggy, because I don't care about E-Buggy. I do, but I don't, you know. We're going for Nitro. This is only Nitro Buggy. Whoever is the top finisher Nitro Buggy, I'm going to send you guys an NRC hat in the pro class, and I will make the same bet for the top finishers out of Nitro Buggy. Are you running Nitro Buggy, David?
Yeah,
You're kind of new to Nitro Buggy, though, aren't you?
yeah. I only have about 10 races.
All
like
right, so
that,
I'm going to make it E-Buggy for you and Ashton.
You can make it Nitro. Make it both. I don't care.
All right.
Oh shoot! Oh
They're-
shoot!
they're-
Main points, qual points.
Man's just confident over here. That's what I like.
Ashton,
to hear.
you heard that smack talk, Ashton?
Put them both
That ain't
together.
smack
Use
talk.
E-Buggy
I
and the.
I am
Nitro
listening
Buggy.
to this smack talk.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
Hey,
you
I
guys,
am just saying.
I don't
I'm
know.
pretty sure
See what
all four of
happens.
the pro driver or pro class people running all three classes. We could make it a trip, like a whole thing, and
oh, you want to combine?
Uh-huh.
mains.
No, I'm good.
I'm only running
I'm
two
good. I'm good.
classes,
I'm
so
good.
the
I'm
E-Buggies
good.
or
I'm
the
good.
both
I'm good.
buggies.
I'm all right.
Oh,
I'm okay.
mm,
It'll be my
man,
first time running
not
E-Buggy
confident.
since
Not
DNC.
confident. Not
I love
And
it.
it's a
confident in your
brand
cars.
new spanking car. I never drove it before, so
Mine,
I'll
I
be
know.
alright.
I have to build mine next week too.
yeah, but I know, but yours is an MP10, so this is a brand new marketed car, like full on new design.
Oh,
So I
Sweet.
mean, no,
Not my
I'm
fault.
fine. I mean, I still take the bet. I don't care.
you
No.
should be confident in your cars.
No, I am. I'm 100% confident. All right, you
I'm
know
very
what?
confident in mine.
Fine.
I'm very
I'll still
confident
be
in
on the
mine.
top step. It's cool. All right. I'll be all right.
I love it.
I'm chilling.
I love it. Well,
We're
you
getting
guys,
on a game after this.
hey, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. It was great talking to you guys. Have fun at PNB. Enjoy it. Best time of your lives right now. And hey, keep doing well, because you guys are the future of RC, man. And we need that. We need this attitude. We need this. I don't care. Like, I'm just gonna do it. Like, you know what I mean? I don't care what anybody says. I'm gonna do what I have to do. That's just keep it up, man, because I love it and I enjoyed our chat tonight. And I don't know, man. I don't know. It's gonna be.
I'm kind of worried now because I feel like Brennan's just gonna take me out the whole time.
No, well, I mean, I won't be in the D main though. So
Oh, that one hurt. That one had a little sting on it. Come on now. I mean, I thought I would.
I'll give
I
you
didn't
the
have to
D. At
worry
least
about
I'll
it at
give you the
DNC.
D. The D was kind of hurtful.
I didn't have to worry about DNC though, because I was in the pro, and I didn't see you. I didn't see you in pro class, man.
What? Oh, at
That's
D&D.
tough.
Oh. This is a whole new race.
Guess what?
That wasn't my
That was a
choice.
good one though. I'm not gonna lie. That was good. That was a good one. The D main one. That was
What?
good.
All right, dudes.
Oh.
Well, you guys have a good night. Enjoy your weekend, and let's get it on at PNB. Well, let's go. I don't know. I'm gonna give away
Let's do
hats. All right. Well, thank you for your time, and be safe and get ready. Get ready because it's going on at PNB.
If you want, I'll send you my address right now.
That's confidence. All right, dudes. Well, you guys, thank you very much, and I will.
Thank you,
talk
Keenan.
to
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hey, Camden,
Keenan,
you can
have a
go
good
ahead
one.
and pay the
You too.
shipping to my house.
Get to work in Supercross, Camden.
Oh, I'm gonna.
All right.
You guys gonna have to send me some voice notes from PNB. Oh my God.
Oh, we'll send you everything. We'll send you everything.
Yeah.
Oh, we're all going out to dinner on Thursday.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I'm really excited. You know,
We
I'm
might
gonna
have to record the entire thing.
I'll be chilling in, you know, top 5, top 10 position. You know, we'll have Brennan. You'd probably be
Top 10.
B
I'll
or
be
C
chilling in
main.
top spot.
B or C main. We'll have Kody right there. So yeah.
I haven't stopped recording
what
yet
you're
because this is
talking
so epic.
Yeah,
All right. It's going to be on like
Cam is
Donkey
gonna be over
Kong.
here coming out us for the friggin' Kyosho front and back end of the car.
Called it. Did I not call it? I called
gonna
it.
want our
I said Brennan's
springs is
gonna
what
be
he's gonna
taking me
want.
out.
He's gonna want my
because
springs.
he'll be in the B main.
You guys
Hey.
finished to win the race, right?
Yeah, well, we just have to make the main. I mean, as long as I make the main, I mean, then I've already beaten you guys.
No.
Anyway,
I think
this isn't going to end with you guys. I'm going to end it. E-Buggy, as JQ does.
NNRC listeners, are you currently having trouble trying to get the power down to the ground? Well, don't you worry. Papa Willie's Traction Tonic has you covered for all your RC tire traction needs. Whether you race on carpet, concrete, dirt, loose, dry, slick, or high grip surfaces, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic cures for traction. Benefits of using Papa Willie's Tonic Traction is going to be more traction, long-lasting, light tire wear, sweet scent, clean application, fast acting, fresh fill. Papa's Willie Traction Tonic is also safe on foam inserts and does not deteriorate tire glue. Find and follow Papa Willie's Traction Tonic on Facebook and Instagram. You can also visit them at www.papawillies.net. Use the promo code NNRC at checkout for 10% off.
Welcome to the second edition of the JQ RC Gypsy Tales. Tales of two gypsy fools, or maybe just one, traveling around doing RC stuff. This part of the podcast is brought to you by Rob's Oil. We're going to start using Rob's Oil, who sells Amsoil products, to fix our janky JQ van so we can do more cross-country tours, stop at more tracks, and hopefully do some cool things in 2021. What do you think, Joseph?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so you know what you got to do? Go to www.robsoil.com, order up some Amsoil products for the janky JQ van, probably 5 liters of high-quality Amsoil and some filters. And let's get it working because we have to do some tours next year. So if you guys want to get your oil delivered for your bikes, your cars, whatever product you want, and Joseph, you can get some oil sent to Westergaard for his motorbikes for looking after the van. You can go to www.robsoil.com and choose all of your Amsoil products and have them delivered to anywhere you want in North America. Why Amsoil? Because Amsoil makes top quality synthetic lubricants for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, four-wheeler, snowmobile, lawnmower, and anything else with an engine. Amsoil lubricants are designed to help your equipment run at peak efficiency and last longer. Join the millions of proud Amsoil users to experience the difference. The products of Amsoil are formulated and blended in and packaged in the USA. And I was told that a lot of guys are using the greases and whatnot from Amsoil for their cars, and a lot of the fifth scale guys are using them to mix their two-stroke oil. But why Rob's Oil, you may ask? Because Rob and his son are RC racers, and they support the podcast, and he chose to sponsor the the Gypsy Tales segment of this podcast that JQ moaned about for months and months and didn't want to tell stories till we got a sponsor. So thank you, Rob, because supporting one of our fellow RC racers is a good thing. And supporting Rob's Oil also supports the podcast. So remember, go to www.robsoil.com and place your order for your Amsoil products whenever you can. So, Joseph, this is part 2 of Lefty, Michael, and Joseph's. First of all, Michael and my first DNC, and Max's first DNC. We covered how you treated us really bad and didn't even have a place for us to live and basically left us homeless one night. Wouldn't even let us sleep on the floor on the last episode. some sort of friend you are. Don't worry, what goes around comes around. One day you're going to need a place to stay, and I'm going to make you sleep out in the dog kennel, Luna and Tonka. So we went to Santa Barbara. We practiced. Actually, a guy sent me a video. Thanks, Ken. He sent me a video from that old layout that we went and tested on at Santa Barbara. Oh, every time I see that, I just get like goosebumps because I think it's such an awesome facility, awesome track, and Santa Barbara's just a beautiful place. So we came back from Santa Barbara. You and I went on this Sunday and packed the van. Oh my gosh. I think we took everything. We went to Nick's house and just took all the lights, tables, all these parts. That van was full. We had everybody's OGO bags in there, everybody's luggage. Oh, it was insane. That van was weighed down. Crazy. And then I think Tuesday, did we leave Tuesday?
I don't know. I don't remember anything.
You never remember anything. I think we might, because we set up Wednesday, right? And then practice was Thursday. No, I think we left Monday.
I have no idea.
No, it might have been, I can't remember, honestly, what day we left. But basically, you and Dagani and Max and Jonas were staying, you and Dagani were staying in his camper. Me, Mike, Max, Jonas, and Tony were staying in a camper that Tony rented, and we paid into it. Now, I've never stayed in a camper before, so I had no idea what I was getting into. And honestly, I will say, this location for DNC, there wasn't even running water anywhere. So we load up Mike and Jonas and Max in the high-end Elantra that I had rented, and you and me in the van. And we start our road trip to Arizona, which is pretty interesting because I've never been to Arizona. And I just remember going, like we went through like on the way, like we was going to, I believe, did we go through, like we was going to Beaumont, and we went across that area where it has, like when we go past Beaumont, Banning and all that stuff has all the, yes, we did, because it has all the windmills, like thousands of windmills out there. I know because we stayed out in that area. And he was like, oh yeah, Westergaard lives out here somewhere in the desert somewhere. And it's just a cool drive to Arizona. Like I was so excited, man. A road trip. And you're charging up your phone on your laptop, aren't you?
I'm not.
Yeah, stop moving. Causing static. So excited to get to my first DNC. Like a lot of people's like, oh, like this is a bucket list race. I always wanted to go to a DNC ever since they first, like, this is the big race that you go to. This is what they talk about in the magazines. I don't know what you got that's making static, but stop it.
I don't know.
It was not doing this before. So we're on the road, and this is like my first time with you driving. I don't think I've ever driven with you a long distance, but you was driving, using your phone, scaring the crap. Is that a compressor?
How's a motorbike?
Oh, okay. Scaring the crap out of me because you're driving, texting, doing all this type of stuff. And yeah, that's pretty loud motorbike.
Yeah.
What was that, a lion or something?
That was I don't know, some motorbike.
Wow, it sounded like an animal or something roaring. So anyway, we get to Arizona and it's time to set up our pits. So we get there and we start unloading the van, and I'm like starting to put up tents, and like, you don't know what you're doing. And I guess I do. No, you don't. This is how I want it. So we rolled out the carpet, had all this nice carpet, which I eventually lost at Myrtle Beach, and you made us buy a new one. And thanks to everybody that bought that carpet. And it hasn't been used since because it's still in the van. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get like all 4 of our tents in a row. So we had like 3 and then 1. I remember that. And you, oh my gosh, you're such like so anal for little things, man. Honestly, like you really have issues. It must be the autism. You're like, every little thing had to be right. I mean, I understand now, like our tents, you had the stripes that go up and down. We was missing that one stripe. Like, remember how we would have that pattern and then we had one back that didn't have the pattern? Man, you're not helping me out with this story. Because you don't remember shit.
I don't remember this time, but I know exactly what you mean.
Right, because I remember you was pissing and moaning about this. I wanted, where's the back? And it ended up, I think R.I.P. Charlie ended up having it. Rest in peace, Charlie. He had it from Fall Brawl that year. So I remember Mike was like, I got to get that back. I bet you Charlie has it. So we set up all the pits. I mean, I must admit, man, it really looked badass. We set up pits. We put stakes on. It was a great thing we had that carpet, too, because we was like on top of dirt, gravel. Oh, man, our pits look fucking badass, man. I think we had the best pits at DNC that year. Yes, we did, because we had, I think, like, I just remember looking over and seeing Kyosho's pits. It was 2 tents with, like, just Jared Tebow and 2 other guys in there. And then, other people had big areas, but they didn't have the flags. Like, you could literally, at nighttime, and you would come over that highway right next to the track, when you would come over that, you could just see our flags flying. Like, you could see, like, all the light. It was such a really great picture. You could see the flags flying, all that stuff, man. We really look good. And this is the first year that you had a really big presence at DNC. Because usually you would have, you've done big things at DNC. Didn't you have, like, the Armor Girls there one year, or was that at the Worlds?
That was DNC, too.
Yeah, you had the Armor Girls, but, you always had Greg Degani, Smoker, Keith, and a couple of other guys. But about 5 or 6 guys. But this year, we had like 25 guys. Just people from everywhere, man. I was just like packed. We didn't even have enough space in the pits to accommodate everybody. Guys were literally pitting outside, like on those benches right next to us. It was so exciting, man. So exciting. So exciting. So anyway, camper life. I've never been in a camper, right? And you know what? To this day, this has scarred my opinions of sleeping in a camper. So we get this camper. It looked all nice on online, but when we got it, it was just kind of small. So Max and Jonas would slept in the bed because they're young. They can sleep with each other. Mike slept on that part of the bed, where the kitchen table folds down, and then you make a bed out of cushions there. And then I bought an air mattress, and Tony slept on that on the floor. And then my big ass slept in the smallest, most uncomfortable recliner for a week. Literally. I put it on as flat as I could, and we got like our luggage in there. We had no space, like no space whatsoever. I slept in that damn recliner for 5 days. It was so uncomfortable, man. And then I would go get a shower every night at a truck stop. That was my only one actual joy, was going to pay my $12 at that truck stop and getting a nice hot shower. Camper life is not for me. That toilet, I tried to get a shower in that damn shower. No, it must be built for small people. I couldn't even move. I tried to drop a poop in that toilet. I couldn't even move.
We've already covered this at least twice during this podcast.
Yeah, shut up. Shut up. But it was so good to be there. Like, this is my first DNC, first big race. Just walking around. I mean, look, we had the guys from Colombia came up. East Coast guys were there. I didn't really know too many California people at this time on West Coast, but I did know a few, so I was meeting them and just, me walking around, just being me, meeting everybody, talking. And then, unfortunately, I forgot that, should we say Mike from Santa Barbara gave us, 500 JQ takeover stickers? We had this, so this was the great idea going into DNC. We're going to plaster JQ takeover stickers everywhere, which I was on board.
This was this year.
No, that was that 2000. Yeah, this was this. Of course, it was this year. Don't be silly. You know why it was this year. So,
okay.
I had a few, and I'm just giving them out to people. I put them on, like, one of Joey's monitors. I put them on the pit lane, stuff like that. I wasn't being too aggressive. But, man, people were putting these things everywhere. I mean, we were too, but, man, people's like, hey, you got any more of those decals? And you just give out, like, 10 decals, and they would just show up anywhere. Like, I don't know who put the one on Drake's starter box, but that was pretty ballsy.
I did.
You did? Okay.
Yeah. The best thing was that he was there pitting for Ronda and he didn't notice.
Wow. And then even Tebow had one on his Charger, but I don't know if he did that on himself.
I did that.
You did it too?
Yeah.
Jeez, she was like a ninja going all over the place, just putting these. Anyway, they were just popping up everywhere. Some people liked it. Some people.
I put one on Drake's pit board also. That was a good one.
Yeah. I mean, it was all fun. It was all fun until you got DQ'd for it.
The best sticker bomb actually that I've had was when I had the mini stickers. You know, when Jakey first started, we had that everything, the sticker, all that. And then we had a small one, which was the mini sticker. So one year I put one on the front of Tessman's truggy. So you know how the front end on his truggy is just white. There's nothing on it. It's just white. And then in the middle there was the mini sticker. And then they've used it in a HB magazine ad. That was the best.
Did they block out the? Did they still have the sticker?
No, they are. I guess they just didn't notice. So it was awesome. So the mini sticker made it in.
I mean, it was a good idea, but like everything, you always go too far. And
I think I went the right amount, but some people didn't agree.
Yeah. You went too far. So we're having a great time. We're having a great time. Our pits look great. Everybody's having fun. People are just shocked. They're like, what the fuck has happened to JQ Racing? Like, they were just shocked to see 20 plus people in our pits. And I was looking at those pictures, and it's people there that I just like, oh man, like Gibson. Fat Jesus was there. I forgot how good friends we were, and now like you guys are enemies.
Turncoat.
Well, he blocked me too. And I'm like, man, we were all friends in this picture. We was all part of something special that year. So, and I remember you was doing really good too.
I had engine issues.
Yeah, you had engine issues. You got them fixed. And then on the last qualifier, you actually qualified 9th overall, and everybody was just like, what the fuck? Like, everyone is like, wow, because in seeding, you done really well too. So, and then Max is killing it in e-buggy and nitro buggy. And we just got JQ cars everywhere. I mean, even the guys, the Crazy Leg and his brother, Sexy Leg and his brother, sorry, they're like, I've never seen this many JQ cars. Like, everybody's getting, we're getting tech, top 3. Everybody's there. Like, we got a shit ton of people there. It was so cool. So cool. Then, we had the almost rumble in the jungle with the HB crew, which we've talked about numerous times. And then, like, I know I have to say this again, but I'll just never forget that evening when I walked across and I saw JQ takeover on the champagne bottles. And I was just like, oh, fuck. I just like that a mental face palm. I'm like, this is not going to be good. Not going to be good. Now, I didn't know that this was the second time you put them on there. See what I mean by you go too far? I think you even admitted that on the drive back.
I think I only put the champagne bottle ones once, but I put a sticker on the backdrop twice.
See, I didn't see the backdrop sticker at all. But I think that's what Joey was more pissed off about. And then, of course, the HB team managers got on him about you turning off Ben Sterling's radio. And then I'll just never forget, like, the DQ came, and I was just like, oh, for fuck's sakes, Joseph, you fuck up everything. I was so mad at you. I just went, like, I was so angry because it was such a great weekend. It was going good. It was really positive. And I was so pissed off. I just went and sat in the camper. I tried to talk to Joey. He weren't hearing it. You was like in denial. And I was just so angry at you, man. So angry at you. Like I wanted to really just punch you so hard for being so dumb. So I go back to the camper. And I'm pissed off, and I'm getting messages from people. Oh, what happened to JQ? I heard it, because by now everybody knows you've been DQ'd. blah, blah, blah. And then I see like Live RC posts it. Like, I don't think a racer's ever been DQ'd. And here's the thing, like, at the end of the day, you really got DQ'd for stickers.
Yeah.
You know, but like, I think they tried to make it about Ben Sterling, his radio, but Ben Sterling wasn't even pissed off at you.
And he deserved it. He's
retired. Oh, he did take you out. Yes, he did. He's retired now, I think.
When I was lapping him.
Yes.
In a bump spot.
Yes. That wasn't good. You was on your way to, you had just bumped up to the B man and you was on your way to, or was you bumping to the A man in Truggy? And I would have been pissed off too. So anyway, I'm sitting in the camper sulking. I'm so angry. Like, if you would have been there, we'd have been rolling around fighting. Like, you'd have been out in the dirt fighting. I'd have had you in a chokehold or something. Somehow, I'd have used my left arm and just trapped it underneath your jugular and just used my right arm and squeezed until you stopped moving. And then I start seeing comments from people. Oh, that's so savage. And I'm like, oh, wow. This isn't, like, some people are like, oh, you know, because a lot of people hate, let's be realistic. Like 90% of the people hate you. And like 99% of the people can stand, like 9% of the people can stand you. And it was just like people like, oh, that's so savage. And people were messaging me, what happened? And they're laughing. I'm like, okay, this isn't going to be so bad. So like our only hope is on Max. Like all the pressure is on Max. He's TQ in E-Buggy, and I think he's like starting second or just missed TQ in Nitro Buggy. I just remember getting a cold Modelo, and you were pitting for him. And I'm sitting over in one of those hay bales. It's cold, and I'm just rocking back and forth because I'm so nervous. You know, E-Buggy, he blew up or something. He lost power. He didn't do well. So Nitro Buggy, oh man, I think I've never been that nervous in 30 minutes of racing. Like, he saved the day. Max saved the day. I'll never forget the look on your face when that happened. Like, I've never really seen you that passionate. You were smiling, you know, you ran back and got the money for the photo finish. Everybody was just happy for Max. Like, all the JQ guys were happy. Even people that weren't JQ guys. I remember Adrian Bertine came up and congratulated you. And it was just a great, great vibe and a great memory that I'll never forget. I'm glad I was a part of that. I remember I ran over and grabbed him and like hugged, he was smaller than, hugged him and like twirled him around and all that type of stuff. And then Mike was all, because you and Mike were pitting him. I just remember that I'll never forget one moment that stood out from me in that race. And that was that triple in the front, right? Dangerous spot. If somebody crashed in the middle, you couldn't see it, you would hit him. And I remember somebody crashed right there. And he was coming. It was like a lapper. And Max was coming. And you went up and you went, blick, 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 or something like that, and finish, right? So quick. And he adjusted mid-air, like, and just avoided. Like, that would have been devastating. He would have broke his car. Like, but with that finish talk, you were like, and
that's how finish sounds
to me. And I just never forget it, man. And it was super elating. And then yeah, he saved the day. And that whole DQ, I mean, some people try to mess around. Oh, he shouldn't be running open and this and that. And, you know, that's bound to happen. But what it was is basically like the Europeans dominated DNC that year. David Ronnefalk won. Battier second. Who was third? Was it Mayfield? No, I can't remember. You know, in Pro Buggy, Ronnefalk won E-Buggy. And Max won open Nitro Buggy. Well, there weren't no Sportsman European guys, but what a great moment, man. What a great moment to be a part of. It was a bad moment with the DQ, but it turned out really good. And I remember the next day, we stayed, we practiced a little bit, and then we packed up everything. And we headed back. And I'll never forget, as we're driving back, you go to me, oh, that could have ended really bad. And I looked at you and said, oh, you think so? Oh, I was like, when somebody tells you to stop doing something, you stop doing something. So, yeah, we headed back to Smoker's house. And then there's a third party of this story, and that includes me going up to Seattle and then me deciding to drive across America. Because then we came up with this whole thing about, hey, fuck going home right now. Why don't we drive the van? Why don't you let Lefty, because you was going back to Finland. He's like, why don't you let Lefty drive the van? Who Lefty's only driven the van never, because I had never driven the van by that time. And he's going to drive it across America for the first time ever with $150 in his pocket. But that's for part 3 of the RC Gypsy Tales. So yeah, man, that's a memory we'll have forever. You know? And it was a super proud moment for you. It was a super proud moment for all of us, man. I wish we could go back to 2018 and you didn't get DQ'd, because it could have been so much better. But then again, it kind of worked out too.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't really care.
Yes, you do. Did you have any regrets? Because you was doing really well that year. Or as Mike and I say, we think you planned it so you would have an excuse not to do well. And when you sucked, well, I would have done well, but I got DQ'd. Because I know you kind of like that.
Of course not. If I was doing well, it would have been good to do well all to the end.
But just think about it. That's the
that
big...
year too, I was running the Legends class, right?
Yes.
So I had the extra practice. That's why it pissed me off even more, you know, because the fucking engine wasn't running. Man, it was so annoying.
Yeah, I remember.
It was like a waste of time. Even with all that extra time, I couldn't figure it out. And it was the carb the whole time.
Yeah, I remember you and Ben
That's
Sterling.
When I decided I'm never using that fucking horizontal carb bullshit ever again.
I remember you and Ben Sterling trying to figure it out.
Blaming the fuel and blaming this and that and fuck. And then actually, this feud with Reds went on. What year was this?
2018.
Yeah, see? All of 2017, I ran the old carb. Sweden Euros, you remember? I did well, qualified 7th, made the main, broke in the main, but still made the main. Like, it was good. And I was using the old carb. And then I posted a picture with the old carb and they got mad, but I still kept running the old carb. Then there was another picture somewhere with the old carb. Then they got mad again. So then like 2018, I can't use the old carb anymore. So DNC was the first race that I used this horizontal carb, and terrible, right? Could not get this thing to run. And then actually with Ben Sterling, we put the old carb on the Monday, ran perfect. We got everything figured out. So then I was like, I don't care if they fire me. I'm never running that horizontal thing again. So it took all the way until late in that summer. I was in Italy and I told them, okay, because they always said, Mayfield and Boots don't have a problem. You know, I'm like, yeah, well, Mayfield and Boots are pretty punched. They don't drive like me. So maybe there's something in that, you know? So the problem I was having is the tune was very inconsistent. Doesn't matter how you tune the thing, it would load up randomly at some point. Then you'd go and accelerate and it would be rich. And you cannot, or I cannot drive a car like that that's not consistent. So I was in Italy. I went to their track. I said, okay, here you go. Here's a screwdriver. I'm going to drive. You tune this thing. And they noticed the problem. Okay, do this, do that, change needles, tune, blah, blah, blah. Okay, now it's working. Next lap, same issue. I'm like, okay, I thought you fixed it. They could not solve the problem. They couldn't. And I said, okay, watch this. I put the old stand-up carb on. Perfect. And they couldn't say anything. I gave them free rein to do whatever the hell they wanted, and they could not fix the problem. And then finally they believed me. After all this time, I said, look, the problem is when you use partial throttle for a big section of the track, it loads up. It doesn't matter how you tune it. It loads up. So there you go. And what happened later on? Which carb does Reds have now? Standard, not horizontal needle. If it was so awesome, why don't they still use it, right?
So you was right. That's what you're trying to say?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I remember you struggling with that many, many times. So It was a good DNC, except for you getting DQ'd. I'll just never forget that feeling of despair and just pure anguish I had at you when that happened. I think I even said, "You just fuck up everything, don't you?" And walked off and stormed off to the camper. So angry. But it turned out good, man. And it's a great memory, and we'll have that forever. Like, we'll have that. Max saved the day. And it was a good memory at the end of the day. RC Gypsy Tales, DNC 2018 Part 2, brought to you by Rob's Oil. Well, Joseph, we don't have a rant this week. I don't have a rant. Still kind of, like I said, still working on the studio here, and I'm going to be busy this week. I got 200 acoustic films to put up this weekend. Try and get rid of some of this echo, which I can hear in my recording. And thank you for your time, and I appreciate it. Thank you to everybody that tuned into the podcast, and thank you to Joey, Kody, Brennan, Camden, David, and Ashton for coming on and being a part of the youth conference. Maybe we'll do that more often because we need to give these young racers a platform to speak on. Thank you to everybody that sent in questions for the Beach RC bench racing segment. And a short podcast this week. Usually it's not 4 hours, I don't think. So that's good. That's a good thing. And hey, I want to say a big shout out to all of the NNR squad around the world. If you guys are racing this weekend, have fun. Send it with responsibility or not. Shout out to our patrons on Patreon for all of your support. You guys got early release of the youth conference last night. Shout out to our awesome sponsors and awesome advertisers, which are RCMX Online, Tekno RC, Beach RC, Papa Willie's Traction Tonic, JQ Racing, BK Servers, Manscaped.com, and of course, Rob's Oil, our two latest out of the industry non-RC advertisers. So help us out. Go to those websites, use that promo code no name in all caps at Manscaped, and get yourself cleaned up. And Joseph, you do the same. Thank you for your time, Joseph. Remember, everybody, Nitro is the glory, but E-Buggy pays the bills. Joseph, any final words before we sign out here?
I'm all out of words.
It sounded like you just farted in that chair, to be honest.
No.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's just the chair.
All right. Well, good. Have a good weekend, Joseph. And hey, you ain't grinding, you're sliding, and lefty out.
Hey, you know what?
What?
I have something to say.
What?
I saw the JQ Threads motocross gear by Yoko for the first time in action today.
Oh, yeah?
They look sweet.
Oh, sweet. Don't forget to go to JQ Threads, everybody, and get some cool clothes. Joseph, when are you going to make them in my size?
I don't know. We need some tent fabric and stuff. So,
well, send me a hat. Send me a hat with my e-buggy and my nitro buggy, please.
That's going straight from China, but I can send you something.
All right. Check out JQ Threads, everybody. Remember, buying stuff from JQ Threads not only supports JQ Threads, but it supports other people's dreams. So
exactly,
it provides opportunity for people. All right, so lefty out. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the No Name RC podcast. We greatly appreciate all the support and love from you, the listeners. Without all of you, none of this is possible. Special thanks to our patrons on Patreon. If you wish to support the podcast further, you can at patreon.com/NNRC podcast. As a patron, you will receive early releases, special content, and patron-only giveaways. Also, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and our website, www.nnrcpodcast.com. Remember, Nitro is the glory, but e-buggy pays the bills. If you aren't having fun, it doesn't make sense. And if you ain't grinding, you're sliding lefty out. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory. Nitro is the glory.